Ryan Giles is the National League's Player of the Week after leading the Bucks to 5 wins in 6 games on the road. He and the Pirates will be trying to recharge the offense against one of the better right-handers in the league, former Pirate Rick Reed. But current Pirate Todd Ritchie has also emerged as one of the top pitchers in the senior circuit. He'll be out to quiet the Mets next. And welcome to a cool and breezy Three River Stadium here in Pittsburgh. It's the middle game of a 3-game series against the New York Mets from the National League East against the Pirates of the National League Central Division. The Buccos' 6-game homestand continues. We've talked about that very successful road trip where the Bucks won 5 out of 6 in St. Louis and Chicago, but they lost last night. Mike Hampton helped shut out the Buccos. The good news, I guess, Bob, last night was the fact that Chris Benson pitched as well as he did.
He did a nice job last night. A couple solo home runs. You're going to lose ball games like that. You can't get caught up in it. I think, have gotten too caught up in losing games this year, so it's just one game. You go back and get them tonight. And, the offense started to come alive a little bit on that road trip. I know they did nothing last night, but they really did come through. And something that I saw on that road trip, the pitching in this division is not all that good. In fact, it's pretty bad. You look at the list of all the teams in the National League, you list them by ERA, the bottom half of that list is dominated by Central Division teams. Only one team is in the top half of that list, and that's the Pittsburgh Pirates. So that's really something to feel good about. Pitching wins in this league. I believe that, and I think when it's all said and done, if those pitching stats remain the same, Pittsburgh Pirates will be on top in this division.
That's why Bob Walk is so good at the segue, is what we call in the business, as he segues into pitching in the Pepsi pitching matchup. Todd Ritchie, boy, who better to go for the Buccos tonight than their ace, really, now, and Rick Reed, the veteran for the New York Mets.
A couple of aces right here. These guys really have established themselves after bouncing around in the minor leagues for quite a while. They are 2 of the best there is in this league. They work awfully fast, throw a lot of strikes. Could be a quick ball game tonight.
Yeah, so Reed and Ritchie, don't expect much R&R with these 2 speed burners. Buccos getting set to take on the Mets. Ryan Giles and the Pirates try to even the series. Coming up next. The Pirates try to even their series against the New York Mets. Todd Ritchie looking to win his 3rd game. This is his 7th start as Rickey Henderson steps in, hitting .207 with a couple of RBIs. And this 10-time All-Star takes ball 1. He was 1 for 4 last night. We'll take a look at the scouting report for Pirates right-hander Todd Ritchie. Glance at it now, and then we'll take a closer look. A strike is called.
Yeah, now we can get time to really get into it here, analyze it. Good slider, changeup, sinking fastball. Really is the best thing he's got going for him. A lot of movement on the fastball. Curve is his 4th pitch, but every now and then he gets the curve going, and it's an excellent number 4 pitch. Against left-hand hitters, you'll see him go to the changeup a lot.
1-2 on Henderson. Missed. 2-2. Rickey Henderson, who apparently was put on unconditional waivers yesterday. They were to expire this afternoon. Now what? This pitch just misses. 3-2. Most expect that a few days Henderson will be an ex-Met. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The count remains on Rickey Henderson, followed by Derek Bell and Edgardo Alfonso.
Rickey's one of those guys that keeps it stirred up, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Yeah, give him credit for that.
Keeps the Mets on the back page.
And this one hit to center field. Rickey Henderson on a 3-2 pitch, singles into center field. Take a look at the Verizon Wireless starting lineup for the New York Mets under Bobby Valentine. The Mets are 18-16. You just saw Rickey Henderson. Derek Bell at the plate now. Then Edgardo Alfonso. Mike Piazza, the cleanup man. Robin Ventura at 3rd base. Todd Zeile at 1st. Hitting 7th, the center fielder Melvin Mora. Ray Ordonez is the shortstop, and Rick Reed pitching for New York. Mets winning last night 2-0, combining on a 6-hit shutout. Dodge keys to the game.
Yeah, got to get some run support. That is really a key every night. Got to score some runs. Keep this offense going.
Runner goes, and the ball dropped by Kendall, so stolen base. Number 1,337 for the all-time stolen base leader, Ricky Henderson, his third this year. Derek Bell hitting .356, 8th highest average in the National League. He hit an opposite field home run in the third inning last night against Chris Benson. His 6th of the campaign. He has 19 ribbies as he takes a ball 2-0.
Interesting how trades and moves work out during the offseason. When they made the deal with Houston, you know, what everybody looked to be the key deal there was Hampton. And not much was said about the acquisition of Bell along with him. But look at how it's worked out for him.
3 balls, no strikes on Derek Bell.
Bell having one of his best years. And Hampton, until last night, was really struggling.
Todd Ritchie early struggles as he falls behind the right fielder of the Mets, Derek Bell. 3 balls and no strikes. And a strike called from home plate umpire Bruce Fremming, a veteran National League ump behind the plate. Mike Winters at first, Field and Colbreth the second base umpire, and Bill Welke at third. Derek Bell, injuries plagued him last season with Houston. Chops this one right side. Tough play. Kevin Young makes it, then throws to Ritchie covering, and Derek Bell gets Ricky Henderson to third. Take a look at the Pirates defensively all the way around here. Just saw Kevin Young at first, Warren Morris at second. On the left side, Mike Benjamin plays third base for Pittsburgh with Pat Mears at short. Will Cordero on left, and Adrian Brown makes his 5th start in center field this season. Brian Giles in right with Kendall behind the plate for Todd Ritchie.
Every time somebody goes into center field and hits in that leadoff spot, you know, this year we have to talk about don't read anything into it.
Infield is back, conceding a run with the exception of Kevin Young. He's well off the line at first, but in.
But until Chad starts hitting the baseball better, more consistently, there will be that speculation every time somebody goes out and plays a couple of games in center field.
And this will get a run home. Warren Morris throws on to first. It's 1-0 New York. Edgardo Alfonso, who was 9th in the league in hitting, drives in Ricky Henderson. It's 1-0 New York.
Alfonso going the other way with the pitch. Man on third base, less than 2 outs. Alfonso gets the RBI. Bell deserves half the credit. He got him the third in the first place.
Mike Piazza was 1 for 3 last night. He is hitting .389. That's the 4th highest average in the league. So Derek Bell, Edgardo Alfonso, and Mike Piazza, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the lineup for Bobby Valentine, all in the top 10 in hitting in the National League. And Ritchie in front of Piazza, 0-2. 7 homers, 19 RBIs.
Strong wrist and hands. That just about says it all with Piazza. He really slings the head of the bat through the zone.
Center field, Adrian Brown makes the catch. Ricky Henderson singles, steals a base, scores a run. After a half, New York 1 and Pittsburgh comes to bat. Bottom of the first inning, the UPMC starting lineup for Gene Lamont's Pirates. 14 wins, 17 losses. Adrian Brown hitting at the start in center field. Chad Hermanson gets the night off. Warren Morris, the second baseman. Jason Kendall hits third, and Brian Giles, Kevin Young, Will Cordero with a 7-game hitting streak. Pat Mears, the shortstop. Mike Benjamin at third base. He and Luis Sojo have split time since Aralis Ramirez was sent down. And Todd Ritchie on the mound for Pittsburgh. It is Rick Reed, the former Pirate, on the hill for New York.
A great control, moves the fastball in and out. He'll cut it a little bit to keep it in on the lefty's hands. One that got away from the Bucks, Rick Reed.
And he toiled in the Pirates minor leagues for a number of years. In fact, after making his major league debut here at Three River Stadium in August of 1989, when he pitched 8 scoreless innings against the New York Mets, He was up and down between Pittsburgh and Buffalo for parts of 4 years. He has found a home in New York. The strike called on Adrian Brown, switch hitting and batting from the left side. 293 hitter overall with an RBI. And Adrian Brown drives one the other way. Ricky Henderson was playing way in, but he has plenty of time to get back and make the catch. 1 out. And let's go around the horn with the New York Mets. Todd Zeile being converted over from third base to first base. At second, Edgardo Alfonso, Gold Glove caliber almost anywhere you put him on the infield. Robin Ventura is a Gold Glover at third. So too is the shortstop Ray Ordonez. In the outfield, Ricky Henderson in left. It's Melvin Mora in center field. Darrell Hamilton is on the disabled list. And in right, Derek Bell. Behind the plate, Mike Piazza. For Rick Reed with a record of 3-1. Strike to Warren Morris. Morris hitting .276. 1 for 4 last night. And chopped back to Reed. Easy play there. And a couple of routine balls hit off the bats of Adrian Brown and Warren Morris. Rick Reed is 34 years old. Huntington, West Virginia native, and his career against his former team. From Marshall University. That school most noted recently for football players. Of course, Chad Pennington, quarterback, and Randy Moss, the receiver. Jason Kendall takes ball 1. Kendall hitting .321. Two balls, no strikes.
Watch the location on Reed's pitches as the game goes on. You'll never see Piazza really have to reach a long ways unless it's really a waste pitch situation. That glove just flicking, and never more than maybe 7 or 8 inches one way or another to go after the baseball.
This is lined into center field by Kendall. A 2-out base runner.
Tonight we have 2 guys matched up, Greg, against each other, Reed and Ritchie, who did not have success with their original team. They had to go on someplace else before they did. I don't think that their story is unusual. I think as pitchers go, really, it's more often than not that when a guy does finally establish himself in the big leagues, it's with somebody else. And to explain that, I think it breaks down to just, it takes a little longer for most of your pitchers to acquire the control that you have to pitch successfully in the big leagues.
They become veterans and they get that control, and usually a team isn't willing to necessarily wait around for years.
Sometimes you lose control of their contract, with the free agency rules. Minor league, they become minor league free agents because you can't keep them on your 40-man roster.
Runner goes from first, and the throw will not get Jason Kendall. He has stolen base number 8.
But you see, both of these guys, Reed and Ritchie, they have become very, very good control pitchers. They go after the hitters, and that's why they have become 2 of the best pitchers around. Good pitch really to throw on. Fastball about belt high, a little outside, but Kendall with a good jump slides in there ahead of the tag. Jason never takes a real big lead. You never see him with a foot out on the turf. He always stays in the dirt area, but he concerns himself more with getting a good jump, getting a quick first step, trying to move before the pitcher moves, anticipate him going home. If you get out there a real big lead, you start getting a little nervous, and sometimes you're worried more about not getting picked off because you're out there a little too far than you are about getting a good jump. So Jason, he takes a comfortable lead, makes sure he gets the good jump.
Green light, fly ball. Shallow. Center fielder Mora. And he makes the catch. The Bucks do not score in the bottom of the first. We've completed one inning at Three River Stadium. The Mets lead the Pirates 1-0. Gene Lamont's Pirates, again, a record of 14-17, beginning the day 5 back of the first-place Cardinals in the Central, good for third place. The Cardinals lost to the Giants today. The Pirates at the moment 4.5 games behind, and 2 off the pace for second place. The Cincinnati Reds are 16-15. Robin Ventura, who played for the Chicago White Sox and for Gene Lamont. Strike is called. 0-2.
Beautiful change up over that outside corner. Saw up there in the Fox box, 78 miles an hour. You see a ball move away a little bit to the left-handed hitters. You look at the velocity. See, that's the same exact action, but that one said 93. That's how you can really at home tell the two pitches apart at a glance. You watch that down and away movement and then look up at the Fox box for the velocity. 79, change up, down and away movement. Ideally, if you've got a great changeup, the only way you can tell those two pitches apart is from the velocity. Arm action, everything, the action of the baseball should be exactly the same. That's the ideal perfect changeup.
We saw Ventura fell off the fastball from Todd Ritchie. And looks at one there.
That ball had a little bit of a tail. That's what Ritchie has. He has the action on his fastball. Started inside, came back right over the inside corner.
Todd Zeile to the plate. Coming up immediately after the game, it's the all-new National Sports Report, the nightly show that gives you a complete wrap-up of all the day's sports news. I invite you to stay tuned. Major League Baseball highlights, NBA playoff action, and more. Bobby Knight trouble? Question mark. As Todd Zeile takes the strike. Zeile hitting .259. 1 ball and 1 strike. Zeile was signed as a free agent to fill the void at first base when John Olerud went back to Seattle. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Todd Zeile out of Newhall, California. Went to a real baseball powerhouse, Hart High School there in Southern California.
Now, you wouldn't have attended that school, would you? Strike 3 on Zeile.
Well, Ritchie doing some painting right now. He placed one perfectly on Ventura, and this tickles the outside corner with the slider.
Why don't you paint a little bit with that toy you got?
Okay, here's the spot we're looking at, right on the edge of it. I actually put it a little further than I wanted to. You're talking about Piazza's glove not moving much? Same thing with Kendall there. It just barely moved.
0-1 the count on Melvin Mora. Pumping in strikes now, isn't he?
Now he's right back on the rubber, looking in for the sign every time.
Jeez. looking, K swinging. Strikes out the side. Middle of the second, Mets lead 1-0. Chris Benson pitched well last night, but gave up the 2 home runs. Kevin Young had 2 of the hits. He almost had a 3rd one in the 9th inning. By the way, Joy Stunt for Vanaca, PA, our Giant Eagle home run hitters contestant. After Brian Giles led off the bottom of the 9th with a hit, Kevin Young hit one hard, but appeared to skip off the pitching rubber, and it deflected toward Edgardo Alfonso for a force out. Who knows what would have happened had that ball gone into center field. But Bob, you were talking about Kevin Young being excited about his work at the plate.
Well, he really thinks that he's found something after watching some films.
Pulls this one foul out of play.
He's a trying to take a loop out of his bat that he thinks he has found with it. This right here, the elbow, is what he's been concerned with.
And he drives one very deep and very far and very out of here. On an 0-1 pitch. Yeah, he is excited about this.
I'll tell you,
new stance.
Since he told me yesterday, he has hit just about every ball except for one right on the nose. But the elbow, he said, was coming up on his swing, and which made him drop the head of the bat and put a loop in it. He said last year he was keeping the elbow down when he started his swing, and the head of the bat was going right to the ball. See the front elbow staying down, not coming up.
Will Cordero grounds this one sharply into left field. Cordero extends his hitting streak to 8 straight games with that base hit. By the way, Joyce Stonfer of Monaca, PA, our Giant Eagle home run hitters contestant winner, thanks to Kevin Young's 5th home run of the season.
When that front elbow comes up, it rocks up and it sends the bat in the back. The head of the bat goes down. When the head of the bat falls down, that puts the big loop and the uppercut in his swing.
Go to first. Runner is back. Will Cordero. Pat Mears hitting .244. Strike called. Kevin Young leading off the 2nd inning with his 5th home run of the season to tie this one up. One and one on Pat Mears.
I'm going to take one more quick look. The elbow right here is down instead of coming up. If it comes up in that direction at the swing, that drops the back of the bat.
Which, again, Kevin Young had noticed he had been doing this year, right? Watching videotapes?
Right. And during the off day, he started watching videotapes from last year, trying to figure out what is wrong with his swing, why he didn't feel comfortable.
So Kevin Young goes home to Phoenix on Sunday night after the game against the Cubs.
Put game tapes in from last year.
And on Monday, his off day, he studies tapes at his home.
But he noticed he threw in some tapes that he had where he was really hitting the ball well.
Mears fouling this one out of play.
And really what he's talking about his elbow coming down. Well, what he's doing by keeping that elbow down is he's keeping his front shoulder in. He's not flying open. The elbow, when it comes up, the shoulder wants to fly open, and that puts that big loop in the bat.
Mears takes a ball. 2-2.
Films and video are such a huge part of the game now that it's so easy for the players to go and really kind of research some things out. There's Lloyd McClendon. You can watch yourself 2-3 years ago, whatever you want. Brad Hines has a large library of these guys hitting as long as they've been Pirates, going all the way back to their first years with the club.
2-2. Oh, what a jump. And a drive to right field, sending Derek Bell back. He will get there. Cordero will get back to first. Last night, Cordero hit a ball over Bell's head in similar fashion. Mears hits one to right. Bell tracks it down.
I know that Jose Silva has been working hard in front of the video monitor the last couple of days, trying to figure out something to get him going.
And Spin Williams, the bullpen coach, of Pete Vukovich, alongside Jose Silva, trying to get him out of this funk. Cordero back standing. Benjamin, a fly ball to right. Shallow. Derek Bell. for out number 2. Brings up Todd Ritchie. Friday night, the Pirates host the Milwaukee Brewers in the first of a 3-game series, and all fans 15 and older on Friday night get a Pirate Sports Jug, compliments of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. 7:05 start. Call 1-800-BUY-BUCKS. Toll free, 1-800-BUY-BUCS. Or you can log on to the Pirates homepage, www.pirateball.com, and order tickets that way. There is that sports jug that all adults 15 and older will receive this Friday night. Todd Ritchie lines this one into center field. Talk about a complete player. This is a complete pitcher. And we noticed it almost from the get-go last year when he made his first start with the Pirates against the Reds.
Yeah, there's nothing really that Todd doesn't do pretty well. And maybe he's not the fastest base runner in the world. That might be the only thing that he doesn't excel at out there. But he's a much better than average hitting pitcher. Fields his position outstanding. He's got a great pickoff move, controls the running game. And, of course, as we've seen, he can pitch a little bit, too.
Adrian Brown, top of the order. Runners at first and second. Tie game. Kevin Young's leadoff home run. The 7th allowed by Rick Reed this season. And ball 1 to Adrian Brown.
Mora and Henderson, they're playing about as shallow as you will see outfielders play against a regular hitter, not a pitcher. There are just an acre of room back there.
And look at the gap in right center. Grounded to second. Up with it, Alfonso, and Adrian Brown retired. The Buccos leave a couple. They also tie it up thanks to Kevin Young's 5th home run of the season. Head to the 3rd at Three Rivers, 1-1. From Pittsburgh and Three River Stadium, a cool night tonight. There, a couple of cool former Bucco managers. There on your left, Jim Leland. On your right, Chuck Tanner.
And whoever is in between them is getting an earful.
Yeah. Double barrel action. Ball 1 to Ray Ordonez. Ordonez 1 for 3 last night.
But wouldn't you love to be sitting down there with those two watching a Pirate game?
Yep. Broken bat, grounder to the shortstop. Pat Mears throws out Ordonez, who trots down to first base. He's retired. Let's take a look at the Ritchie file. Last inning.
Just 3 perfect pitches. Look at the location of these. That is right on the inside corner, right on the outside corner with a slider. This is what you call staying out of the middle of the plate. You couldn't run in and hand kindle the ball in a better spot.
Rick Reed ropes one to left, but foul.
I don't know if he could have run in and kindle the ball in a worse spot on that last pitch. He's just trying to get ahead of the opposite pitcher with a breaking ball for a strike. So he threw a slider right down the middle, and Reed trying to show that he can hit a little bit too.
And he can. He's a 178 career hitter, has a couple of homers. Take a look at your Jeep League leaders in earned run average as a team. The Bucks have crept to 4th behind Atlanta, Arizona, and Florida. 2-1. And of course, 2 of the top 10 pitchers in ERA doing battle here tonight. Todd Ritchie's earned run average of 2.59 is 5th lowest. Rick Reed's 2.66 is 7th lowest in the National League.
Now, Greg, if you see a pitcher that's a good hitting pitcher, like Reed is or Ritchie, one thing that they probably have in common is they're good hanging breaking ball hitters. Because that's what a lot of pitchers see is those breaking balls. They don't really worry how high they get. That one just nicked him. Then you're not worried about putting it in a good spot. You're just trying to throw a breaking ball for a strike against the pitcher. So they see a lot of that. Good hitting pitchers, they take advantage of that. They sit on breaking ball. They wait till it comes up and hangs, and they jump all over it. You can be very careful with pitchers that have good batting averages, just guiding in, spinning a breaking ball. That one spun right in and maybe just nicked the front of the jersey. One out. Ricky lined a 3-2 pitch in the center field last time up.
He also scored his 2,117th run, 48 behind Pete Rose, for 4th on the all-time list. 1-0 on Henderson. One ball and one strike. General manager of the Mets, Steve Phillips, would neither confirm nor deny that Henderson was placed on waivers for the purpose of releasing him.
Why would he ever confirm it anyway? I mean, if he is doing that, let's say it's true, well, he's probably also trying to trade him. He certainly doesn't want everyone to know that he's trying to trade him, that could be released in a few days. That would be silly.
3-1. Bobby Valentine, part of the soap opera that has become the Mets. Normally that kind of stuff reserved for the Yankees, but Bobby Valentine and Ricky Henderson and Bobby Bonilla, who's now an Atlanta Brave. Steve Phillips, the general manager, all part of an interesting 1999 campaign when the Mets, you will recall, needed some help to force a wild card regular season playoff game with the Cincinnati Reds. They also needed to sweep the Pirates in the last 3 games at Shea Stadium, and they did that. And they got help, and they won that playoff game. The runner goes, and it's ball 4. Two on, one out in the third. Before they were world champions, they wore golden gloves. Muhammad Ali, Evander Holyfield, Sugar Ray Leonard, Oscar De La Hoya. The Golden Gloves Tournament of Champions. It all begins here Sunday at 8 on Fox Sports Net. Derek Bell grounded out his first time. 2 on, 1 out. Ball 1.
By being so careful with Henderson, Richie's kind of dug himself a little mini hole right now. Bell, Alfonso, and Piazza in a row with 2 guys on.
Chopped Richie. It's the one play.
Yeah, worked as a bunt, basically, a high chopper. Richie had nothing to do with it, but toss it over to Kevin Young.
2 outs, 2 men on scoring position for Edgardo Alfonso. Pitching coach Pete Vukovich.
Now this inning is not that bad if you get Alfonso out. In fact, you come away with something good. You have Piazza leading off. Piazza is just unbelievable in this ballpark, and anytime you can get him to the plate with nobody on base, it's good.
But Alfonso will rip one into the gap in right center field. It'll score a couple, and he'll have a 2-base hit. He is so clutch. Edgardo Alfonso drives in a pair and gives the Mets a 3-1 lead.
Now, Richie's going to be kicking himself when he gets to the dugout after this inning. At 1 out, nobody on, he hits the pitcher, and then Henderson, who is only hitting .207 coming into this ball game, messes around with him, very careful, puts him on, and now he's got the Thunder in this lineup coming up, and Alfonso hurts him with a gapper.
Pitching coach Pete Vukovich to the mound. And it brings up Piazza. Edgardo Alfonso has driven in all 3 runs for the Mets. That gives him 25 ribbies on the year. Piazza flied out in the first.
A lineup that you face has 2, 3, 4 guys in the middle of it that are as dangerous as you can be, having great years, like Bell, Alfonso, Piazza are right now. We got to really drop the hammers on the other guys.
Good night.
Wow.
Whoa, my. Mike Piazza with a mighty shot to left center field. Another home run for Piazza in this stadium. His 8th home run this year, and the Mets take a 5-1 lead. Piazza just clobbered it. Mike Piazza gives New York a 5-1 lead. Heard somebody talk about the changeup. Thought that was Piazza. 2-0.
I don't think that was a changeup he hit.
There's a drive. Deep to right. Giles back. Gone. Back to back. Robin Ventura's 7th of the year. It is 6-1 New York.
You know what's amazing about that? It was just last inning that we were showing his great pitches on the strikeouts. That was just last inning. And now this inning, it's all the opposite. And nothing you can do about it now. You have to be just like Richie is right now, on the mound, getting ready to go to the next guy.
Piazza and Ventura hit the back-to-back home runs here in mid-April off Jason Schmidt. And they go back-to-back off Todd Ritchie. Last night, it was Derek Bell and Edgardo Alfonso going back-to-back. Popped them up. This should do it. Warren Morris makes the catch. Wow, what a rough 3rd inning that was. Piazza and Ventura with home runs, and the Mets now lead it 6-1. Mike Piazza now has 15 career home runs at Three River Stadium. Robin Ventura, who had a pair of homers in that series in mid-April, it's his 7th in the top of this inning, and the Mets lead it 6-1. Pretty comfortable lead for a tough pitcher on the hill for New York, Rick Reed. Warren Morris will lead off.
Facing a guy that's pitched as well as Reed has. 2.66 ERA. You give him a 5-run cushion. That is not good. But remember also, Richie's ERA was better. They scored off him. We couldn't do the same thing to Reed. Like a breaking ball out over the plate, about the middle of the thigh.
Bruce Fremming is hearing it from the dugout, and somebody is tossed. You hear him say, "Get out of here." I don't know if it was Gene Lamont that got tossed, but you saw Bruce Fremming. It must have been Lamont.
Well, the only thing that I can think of is perhaps Gino was yelling them about some pitches that got called balls last inning. That has to be what it's about. Now, Fremming has one of the shortest fuses there are. He won't listen to much. He'll pull the trigger and throw you out of a ball game faster than just about anybody I know.
Gene Lamont tossed by Bruce Fremming.
The only possible thing it could have been about was that some of those pitches. Thinking back to the at-bats, the only at-bat that I can remember where pitch selection might have made a difference.
Steered by Alfonso on the line drive by Warren Morris.
It was Ricky Henderson's walk, which really turned out to be a big part of that inning. Kind of set it all up. Perhaps he was yelling about some of those pitches.
Another look at the liner by Warren Morris. Alfonso timing his leap, and Jason Kendall at the plate. 0-1. We're told that Todd Ritchie has already made his way into the runway toward the clubhouse, and with Jose Parra warming up, that might be it for Todd Ritchie. Ground ball to shortstop Alfonso. 6-3, 2 outs.
I wonder if Todd might have been tossed earlier and we didn't see that. And perhaps, well, no reason to sit here and speculate. I don't know.
I would have, well, you're right, no reason to speculate. I would have thought that had he been tossed, we'd have seen somebody shoot out of that dugout. Brian Giles takes a ball. Well, the Pirates trailing 6-1. Lost 2-0 last night to the Mets. And as Giles has said, it was nice to get on a roll on that road trip, but you have to sustain it. You can't fall back into a funk. This is popped up on the infield, and the shortstop Ordonez has it. Rick Reed sets down the Pirates in order after that line drive off the bat of Warren Morris was speared by Alfonso. 3 innings, and Jose Parra is coming on. 6-1. You're watching Pirates baseball on Fox Sports Net from Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh. A cool evening as the Mets lead the Pirates 6-1 going to the 4th inning. And you can change your scorecard now, erase or cross out Ritchie and place Parra's name in that slot. Jose Parra making his 3rd relief appearance since his contract was purchased from the AAA Nashville Sounds 3rd week in April. He made a good-looking start in Atlanta on April the 21st when he gave up just 2 runs in 5 innings. A bad start against the Padres 6 days later when he gave up 5 runs in 2 innings.
Well, he was pitching well in AAA, and then after that start in Atlanta, kind of raised some eyebrows a little bit, and that's why he was kept around.
Grounded to Kevin Young. Melvin Mora is retired on the right side. Time now for a look at tonight's Aflac trivia question. Who is the only player ever to steal 5 bases in 1 game? Can't believe it, but I'll let you think about it.
I'm really surprised that only 1 player has ever done it.
I am too.
That seemed like
I'm stunned at that.
Huge number. But
yeah. Ball 1 on Ray Ordonez. Ordonez grounded out in the 3rd. Dribbler left side, Benjamin throws on to get Ordonez. 2 outs, brings up Rick Reed. This coming Saturday night, middle game of the series against the Brewers, and it is another fireworks show. A spectacular fireworks display follows that 7:05 Pirates Brewers contest. Compliments of Hillshire Farm and Cons. For tickets, log on to the Pirates website, www.pirateball.com, or call toll-free 1-800-PUY-BUCS. Rick Reed hit by a pitch in the 3rd. And that's when everything fell apart.
You get 2 guys hooking up tonight with mid-2 ERAs. How many times do I say it? Just about every time we get a good pitching matchup, that sometimes it's what one of them does on offense that opens up that proverbial can of worms. And tonight, Reed found a way to get on base, and 5 runs later, a big lead.
2-1 on Rick Reed.
Inside pitch last time up, just barely nicked the uniform.
This is smacked towards center. Adrian Brown coming on, but it'll be a base hit for Rick Reed.
That ball really died, didn't it?
Yep.
I'm not sure that it was smacked towards center. That ball kind of fell out there. In fact, I see him giving first aid to the bat. I think that smacking noise was the bat.
Oh, you're ripping on my verbiage.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here's Ricky Henderson, who singled quite sharply into center field in the first and walked his last time.
I will say he smacked it to center.
No, I won't do that again. Nope. 1-0 on the count. Two runs scored for Henderson tonight on base when Alfonso doubled. And it's 1-1. Bob's favorite thing here, the hot zone. Go ahead, Bob. Take it away.
Kind of surprising that the middle of the plate is red again. I don't know how that happens on all these guys. You know, something that's not surprising is even though Henderson's .208 batting average, still a respectable on-base percentage. Up there, almost 360. Well, in fact, after tonight, 2 on twice in a row, it's creeping up toward 400 again. I mean, he finds ways to get on base, score runs, even when he's not hitting.
And he's ahead of the count, 3-1.
There he
on
goes
again. First walk for Parra. This comes with 2 outs. And it brings up Derek Bell.
Right fielder Derek Bell.
Bell has grounded out twice. Todd Ritchie, shortest stint this season. 6 runs, 3 innings.
Only threw 54 pitches.
3 innings. 4 hits.
54 pitches.
Ball 1 on Derek Bell. And Pete Vukovich wants to talk to Jose Parra, the Dominican native, who last pitched before this season in the big leagues with the Twins in 1996. Parra made 27 appearances with Minnesota, all but 5 of them out of the bullpen. The Twins had picked him up.
The size of that glove. It's one of the largest gloves on the team, has to be. Look at that. As a pitcher, I always think it's important to get as big a glove as
Well,
you
he's
can
only
find.
5'11".
You got to get as big a glove as you can
Not
find.
much you can do. Pete Vukovich back to the dugout.
You can hide the baseball so that the hitters don't know what you're throwing, and if the glove's big enough, you can hide behind the glove when they do know what you're throwing.
Picked that up from one of his teammates, I guess, last year with Yamuri, playing in Japan. 2-0 the count.
How'd you know that?
Took a guess. 2 on, 2 outs. Pirates are trailing this game 6-1. Good rip by Derek Bell. The Twins had picked up Jose Parra in a deal in July of '95 that involved Kevin Tapani going from the Dodgers. 3-1 on Derek Bell. Gene Lamont tossed in this game, so Rick Rennick, the bench coach, now managing the club. We saw Pete Vukovich and Lloyd McClendon. And ball 4.
I'll tell you, this inning is, or this game is starting to turn rather ugly. They score another 2 or 3 runs here. There's not going to be a lot of managing left to do. A 5-run deficit is big enough.
And now you've got Edgardo Alfonso, who in the 3rd inning ripped this ball to right center. Scoring a pair, Rick Reed and Ricky Henderson. At the time, it gave New York a 3-1 lead. And the bases loaded for Alfonso. And inside for a ball. Pirates bullpen up again.
It's very important that after that 5-run lead, that you stop the bleeding, put some zeros up there. 2, 3 in a row. Give your offense time to regroup, get a little something going against Reed.
One ball and 1 strike on Alfonso.
Well, this is a big at bat of this ball game.
Edgardo Alfonso, 1 career grand slam. That was in 1997 at Busch Stadium against the Cardinals.
Oh, bouncer to Mears here. Get out of the inning.
Hops this one up. Foul territory, maybe room. Benjamin over, and oh, a nice play there by Mike Benjamin. Never gave up on it. And hopefully that will turn out to be a big play in this game as the New York Mets leave 3 on. 6-1 Mets. Bottom of the 4th inning, 6-1 the score. Kevin Young will lead off. Bottom of the 4th inning, Young hitting his 5th home run of the season, leading off the 2nd inning. The only player ever to steal 5 bases in 1 game. The Aflac trivia question, they tell us, Tony Gwynn of the Padres. Checking out the All-Star ballots. You can also vote online this year, MajorLeagueBaseball.com.
Yeah, what fun would that be? You gotta have the pleasure of punching out those little pieces of paper, the holes. What
fun.
Traditional way. Dropping it in the ballot box.
Kevin Young takes ball 1.
Think about voting for the Major League Baseball All-Star game with a mouse click. Just that's almost like aluminum bats in the DH.
Yeah.
Get rid of them.
Just missed. 3-0 on Kevin Young. Pirates need to start scratching away here at this 6-1 Mets lead. 3 balls and a strike on Kevin Young. Rick Reed has walked only 8 this season in 47 innings.
Look at his left shoulder, how he's really kind of exaggerating, pinning it to his chest. That shoulder, or that elbow, that left elbow, when he pins it down at his chest like that, that keeps the shoulder tucked in.
And he hits this hard at right field, but Derek Bell makes a sliding catch. Young rifled it.
Very shallow playing outfield the Mets have, and It pays off at times, taking away base hits. You get burned every now and then, a ball over your head for extra bases, but you steal the singles.
One out as Derek Bell makes the catch. Will Cordero single to left field in the second inning. A ball and a strike.
Watch Cordero's elbow. He keeps his way up high.
And he hits this one into center field. He's 2 for 2.
That's why there is no right way and wrong way about how to hit, pitch, anything. You have to find what works for you. Cordero kind of wraps his bat behind his head a little bit.
And now batting .500 over his last 7 games. Pat Mears at the plate. Hit one to the warning track in the second inning.
I think as a coach, you got to be very careful to tell somebody, hey, you can't do it that way.
This is hit the other way, and it's a fair ball for Pat Mears and extra bases. Will Cordero going to be waved home. Derek Bell's going to get this ball in, but not before Pat Mears slides with a triple.
Yeah, Reed made the right read, so to speak. He was coming over toward his own dugout and was trying to figure out where to go. Do I back up home or do I back up third? He decided third base. The ball got away, and if he's not standing there, it's 2 runs. Mears head down, smacks this ball in the right field, and then it's off to the races. Right about now, Reed is back there trying to figure out which way do I go, home or third, home or third. See him backing through the picture right there at the bottom. He decides to back up third here, even though the run's coming home.
Cordero picking up Jack Lind, the third base coach, with that windmill. They appeal at third base during this replay, but safe, says third base umpire Bill Welke. Pat Mears, the RBI triple, infield back with 1 out. So the Pirates need to get this run home. Mike Benjamin, pretty good at it. Swings and misses. One of the smarter baseball players you'll find around, Mike Benjamin.
Well, he hits the ball on the ground. It's got to want to be the 3 guys on the right, not the Ventura.
Bounce to Ventura. And a throw to first base, and the runner is held at third. Anybody but that third baseman. And now Bruce Avon will pinch hit for Parra.
I was about to say, too, when you try and hit the ball the other way, 2/3 of the time you lift the ball in the air also. So it's always a good idea when you're trying to score that runner from third, think through the middle the other way. That way the ground ball will be in the right place, and if you do get it in the air, well, then you have the sac fly.
That's it for Jose Parra.
When you try to pull the ball, a lot of times you roll over, and the ground ball to third has got us 2 nights in a row.
They've been hitting 188 with 3 RBIs. And that runner at third, Mears, now with 2 down. And Avon behind in the count, 0-2.
A real nice hook there, ball bit straight down.
Last night, the Pirates had runners at second and third, down 2-0 in the bottom of the 5th with nobody out. Could not cash in a run against Mike Hampton. Ball and blocked by Piazza. Piazza had a big play when he stopped the ball in the dirt last night with Kevin Young at third.
Piazza does not try and catch that ball in the dirt. You don't want to catch the ball. Just get down in front of it, get the shin guards in the dirt so there's nothing hard for the ball to hit. Let it bounce up. It'll hit something soft and stop and within 5-6 feet of you.
So Smith, by the way, heard A little bit of talk last night, Bob, after the game. Some people wondering about Kevin Young, and as you pointed out, Kevin Young did the right thing there at third base. If you were watching the game,
absolutely. The people that say Kevin Young didn't do the right thing don't know what they're talking about baseball-wise.
Wow, Rick Reed certainly knows what he's doing as he was able to keep that runner at third base. Pirates settle for 1 run. Jeff Wallace now coming on for Pittsburgh as the Pirates trail 6-2. It is 6-2. The Mets lead it. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Mike Piazza leads off against Jeff Wallace.
Hey, Greg, I want to go back and explain that play last night because we've thrown it out there now, and I think it needs explaining. The situation last night, runners at second and third, and 1 out, correct?
Strike is called.
So if you have a ground ball to third and the runners stay, and the third baseman throws it across the diamond and gets the guy out at first base, you still have runners at second and third, and now 2 outs. We'll watch this pitch. If you start the runner at third base and he gets thrown out at the plate and gets in a rundown, and the runner at second moves to third and the guy that hit it goes to second during the rundown, you still at the end of the play have runners at second and third and 2 outs. You don't lose anything.
Left side nears. Going out Piazza.
But, well, we have a promo and then we'll have to finish up.
Baseball Thursday. 2 of the game's top players square off. Mike Piazza leads the Mets against Jason Kendall and the Pirates tomorrow at 7 on Fox Sports Net. Robin Ventura, who homered following the Piazza home run in the third.
Where was I here?
All right, again.
Okay.
Second and third, 1 out.
Second, third, 1 out.
You were talking about Kevin Young at third.
If the throw goes to first, it is now second and third, 2 outs. If the runners move up during the rundown, it's second and third, 2 outs. It's the same situation. Wait till Morris throws Young out, or throws over to Young. But if the third baseman bobbles the ball in the first scenario, you have a runner safe at first. If he bobbles the ball during the second scenario, you have a runner safe at the plate. Which would you rather have? You start the runner at home, you make them play some defense, make a play. The worst thing you should come out of that is second and third, 2 outs, which you would have anyway. The mess up last night was Cordero stayed at second. He didn't move up. That's why the play got messed up. It wasn't Kevin Young. It was Cordero staying at second base.
And isn't the player at third, in this case Kevin Young, told before the pitch?
If you are out easy, you get in a rundown and let the other guys move up 90 feet. That is what the play is all about. That's what Kevin Young did. And if you remember watching Kevin Young, he was looking out to second base, yelling toward Cordero to come on, because he knows he's only going to be able to stay alive for a while. So that's why anybody that was upset with Kevin Young last night doesn't really understand how that play is supposed to work.
But you do now.
Well, I hope you do. I don't know. I felt like I was describing what's that when you put the waiver rule? That's what I felt like.
Forget that one.
Right, yeah.
2-1 on Zeal, 2 outs. But it's important though to keep in mind because it's part of the game that I think maybe a lot of people don't understand too, and they come out to the ballpark and it's helpful to explain this.
Why did he do that?
Well, on the surface, you look and you're yelling at Kevin Young, saying, "What's he doing? What's he doing?" Well,
he's
forcing so much more to the game.
He's forcing them to make a play at the plate,
and that's why, as this ball is slicing foul, That's why, Bob, we continue to say, and maybe we're at fault, and we should continue to try and have you and Steve kind of explain these things. When you learn the nuances of the game, this game is far from boring. And people that don't know the game suggest that baseball is boring. That it's because they don't know the nuances. And it's actually an incredibly fast game if you understand all that transpires.
The last inning when Benjamin grounded out to third base, the reason then the runner wasn't coming home was because there were no other runners on base to move up. So you don't go home.
There's ball 4 on Todd Zeal. A 2-out walk to the first baseman, and now Jeff Wallace will face Melvin Mora. 6-2 the score as the Mets bat in the 5th. Jeff Wallace is slowly coming along. He's gotten better with that control. He pitched 1 1/3 scoreless innings on Sunday at Wrigley.
Wallace does not possess that blazing fastball that we saw when he first came up. And so he's having to learn a little bit more about, you know, how to throw strikes, hit corners, and take advantage of that natural cut movement that he does have with his fastball. He still throws very hard. He's in the low 90s. But he can't just rear back and throw for the middle of the plate and hope for the best. When he was throwing in the high 90s, he could do that. But his strength right now is a low 90s fastball with a good natural cut movement on it. And he has to think about, now, how do I have to pitch with that to be effective? What can I do with that pitch? Well, first of all, you got to be able to throw it where you want, when you want to. And when he masters that, then he can start doing some things with it. He can backdoor it over the outside corner to these right-handers. He can use it to cut in on their hands, jam guys, use it to go away from the lefties. Or he can throw a breaking ball over the outside corner for a strike three.
Jeff Wallace keeps the Mets off the board. So far, Jose Parra and Jeff Wallace doing their job. The Bucks go back to work on 2. The Pirates trail the New York Mets in the bottom of the 5th inning. Linda Boyer of Osterburg, Pennsylvania, our Giant Eagle home run hitters contestant. And the Pirates have the top of the order against Rick Reed. It's Adrian Brown, Warren Morris, and Jason Kendall. Adrian Brown has flied to left and grounded out. And since the Pirates moved Jason Kendall from that leadoff spot, a lot of folks clamoring for a change in that batting order. It was done, but the problem is getting little at the top of the order now from Chad Hermanson. And Adrian Brown getting a spot start here. Now back, talked to Gene Lamont before the game today about Hermanson. He says the jury is still out on him. He hopes that Chad Hermanson starts to swing the bat better and starts doing some things to help the Pirates win.
Now, Chad has proven himself in the minor leagues to be tremendous talent, a lot of power potential, a lot of athleticism, good, well, better than good speed, great speed. And so obviously he is going to get the benefit of the doubt many times over, as he should be, because he has the potential to be a star player in this league.
That's hit to right field. If it's a fair ball, it's a lot of trouble for Derek Bell. It's a fair ball, and it'll take a hop onto the top of the wall. And you know Adrian Brown can motor, and he will be there with a leadoff triple. And the Bucks are back in some business here.
Well, last inning you saw the shallow playing Derek Bell take a base hit away from Kevin Young. Well, the shallow playing Derek Bell just gave Adrian Brown a triple on just kind of a medium deep fly ball. The trajectory of this ball looks like it's got a chance, but it really doesn't have the depth. The ball is going to bounce about 10 feet from the warning track. Now, with the height of that ball, if he would have been playing back normal depth, he should have been able to make that catch.
The infield back, Warren Morris lined to second. Alfonso made a nice play. Morris has also bounced back to the pitcher, Rick Reed. And he takes strike one. Dribbler to the right side. Adrian Brown will score. Morris thrown out. It's 6-3. Nets will certainly take that to get an out.
And we'll take it too. That gets us one little run closer. Just a 3-run lead now.
Maybe this Pirates bullpen feeling a little momentum. Talked about that this season. The momentum in baseball. Grounded towards short. Ordonez makes that play. Ray Ordonez throwing out Kendall 6-3. Coming up right after the game, it's the all-new National Sports Report, the nightly show that gives you a complete wrap-up of all the day's sports news, including Major League Baseball highlights, the NBA playoff action, and more on Bobby Knight and perhaps more trouble. National Sports Report right after the game. Brian Giles 0 for 2. Giles started the day with a .348 average, 10th highest in the league, and his 32 RBIs tied for 4th most. Sammy Sosa has taken over the National League home run lead. No, correction. Barry Bonds has. Bonds has hit a pair of homers, did that today in the Giants win over the Cardinals. Bonds hit a pair. He now has 14. Sosa hit his 13th in a dramatic extra inning comeback win for the Cubs over the Brewers. This is hit on the right side, and this is Alfonso. And after the leadoff triple 3 ground ball outs, Pirates have cut that lead to 6-3. And again, it's up to the bullpen to put up another 0. See if they can do that going to the 6th. Stick, Gateway Clipper Fleet, and here inside the stadium, the Pirates trailing 6-3. Greg Brown along with Bob Walk and Ray Ordonez.
I'd love to have some cotton candy right now.
We can get that done for you.
I'm not sure that I could eat it and do the game at the same time.
No, that's fine. He'll be okay. Strike is called on Ordonez.
You'd have to pretty much just take over.
Let's order Bob 4 cotton candies, please. Thank you.
What are you trying to say?
Nothing. 0-1. Strike called on the light-hitting shortstop, Ray Ordonez. Lighter than ever this year. Jeff Wallace, second inning of relief. Did he hold his swing? Appeal? First base umpire said he did. That's Mike Winters.
Thought Winter was coming back today for a little while. About the time that the teams were taking batting practice. Uncomfortable wind blowing. Very cool.
2-2. We had an interesting tour of PNC Park today.
Yes, we did.
Wind really kicking out.
We went all the way to the top, upper deck, like standing on the bridge of an aircraft carrier up that way the wind was coming across.
Jeff Wallace off the mound and throws out Ordonez.
We get to go all the way underneath to what will soon be the catacombs.
So it will be the Pirate Clubhouse.
Yeah, looking at the clubhouse area, it'll be very spacious. I was over there asking Steve, I said, you know, they wanted a cozier, more like Forbes Field, like ballpark. I said, is this kind of like the Forbes Field clubhouse?
What did Mr. Blass have to say about that?
He said only if they added some rats.
There he is. Got his Fox Sports jacket on.
Doing a lot of talking. Trying not
Come
to
on,
smile.
peek at that monitor. You know, we'll see if we can ask Dennis Galloway There's a drive towards center field. Adrian Brown heading back, and the catch is made. 2 outs. Our director, Tom Hewitt, our producer, that maybe if we keep flashing different angles of Blast, we can get him to smile. I think we can. He's trying to hold back. Don't look, Steve.
You can see the monitor's right
That's
in front.
right. Come on. The monitor's right there in front. There it is. Yes, illustrate that, Bob. Where's the monitor?
The monitor is right here.
So Steve sees that picture right now. Or he's trying to avoid looking at it. Oh.
Hey, he's trying to do a serious ball game.
I know.
We should leave him
All right,
alone.
let's leave him alone. Ricky Henderson. Wish he'd leave us alone. Henderson. Strike call. Singled and scored in the first, walked and scored in the third, walked in the fourth. Ten-time All-Star. 0-2. Here we go.
I knew they were on their way.
That is your order, buddy.
He's coming right up to the press box. I see which one I want. I want the pink one right there.
Wolfman, you can have one. And Ed can have another. Everything else is Bob's. Henderson lashes this one into the seats.
I would certainly think that when Ricky does decide to hang it up, he'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer, wouldn't you think? All the records he has set.
You'd have to say so, yep.
And all the other areas that he is near the top.
Yep.
You were talking earlier, runs scored. By the end of the year, he'll be up in 4th all-time on that list.
41 years old, still believes he has a lot to provide offensively.
Someday he may even steal 5 bases in one game.
Just missed. Well, I just want to clarify, Bob, since you mentioned Ricky Henderson, he has stolen 5 bases in a game in 1989.
Is that right?
That's correct. So he joins Tony Gwynn, among others, I think.
Congratulations, Ricky.
We'll add you to the Aflac trivia question next week. Oh. Our suspicions were right on that.
Where did you find this buried information anyway?
Buried in the media guide.
Oh, the media guide.
Under stolen base highs for Henderson in a game. This is a little blooper that'll drop in, and he's on base for the 4th time.
That on-base percentage, no matter what he's hitting, it's always at least near 300. Low batting average this year. On-base percentage.
And
4 out of 10 times he gets on base.
On the scoreboard, they're being told here at Three Rivers Bob that is his 10,000th career at bat. 21st player in the history of the game to reach that plateau. Frank Robinson is 20th on the all-time at bat list. Strike on Derek Bell. (6-3). Mets lead it in the 6th. Todd Ritchie started, gave up 6 runs in 3 innings. Jose Parra won scoreless. He left the bases loaded after giving up a 2-out hit and a pair of walks. Jeff Wallace gave up a 2-out walk in the 5th inning, and now a 2-out single. Trying to strand this base runner, Henderson. That just missed.
Now, Greg, I was looking at the trivia question. You just read it wrong.
Oh.
It's who was the only player ever to steal 5 bases in the 2nd game of a twilight doubleheader in the month of April. That's what
sorry.
it was.
That's what it was. Now that makes some sense. While wearing a San Diego uniform.
Yes.
Swing and a miss. Derek Bell in the hole, 1-2. Jeff Wallace trying to get Derek Bell. The Pirates will go back to work on offense with Kevin Young to lead off in the bottom of the 6th. And that's fouled out of play.
A little fake jab step right there by Henderson, and I think he had Wallace read. If he would have been running on that one, it would have been an excellent jump. Silva warming up in the bullpen.
One ball, 2 strikes. Jeff Wallace started the year at AAA Nashville.
Yeah, there's so many people watching the base runner coaches and stuff. A good jump doesn't go unnoticed. It's not a coincidence that there was a pickoff throw right after that.
He just got a good jump there. It's fouled out of play. Ricky Henderson, who wasn't happy at the beginning of the year when he figured his role would be reduced. He wasn't happy when he was lifted from a playoff game last season. Reportedly, he and Bobby Bonilla played cards in the clubhouse during the game. Nobody happy about that. 1-2, and that's fouled out of play.
Was that a ball game that they'd already been taken out of?
Yeah. Playoff game.
They're already out of the ball game.
Mm-hmm. Not a big deal.
No, I think probably more was made out of that than needed to be. Then if they're already out of the game, they could have been in there standing on their heads.
Yeah.
What difference does it make? Playing cards, a good way to kill the tension. They might have just been real nervous.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. 1-2, swing and a miss. Jeff Wallace wins that battle with Derek Bell. Strikes out the Mets right fielder. And so the bullpen, Parra and Wallace, doing their job. And now again the Pirates offense in the bottom of the 6th. You're watching Pirates baseball on Fox Sports Net. Game 2 of 3 games with the New York Mets. This is a 6-game homestand.
It's kind of a majestic view there, isn't it?
The river.
Big boat.
Kevin Young will lead things off. Ball 1. Young homered, leading off the 2nd. It tied the game. Line sharply to right field in the 4th.
Every at bat, it looks like he's getting that elbow closer and closer.
And another good at bat.
Man.
Boy, you know, a lot of times when players tell us this stuff, they're kind of hopeful that they have found something. We've had that over the years, guys.
You know,
say, you know, I've got something. But this time, when Kevin Young told you that he has discovered something, he has.
He was very excited. But then right at the end, he says, but wait to see if I get a couple of hits. There's the elbow. It's down. Wait till I get a couple of hits before you really talk about it.
He went right out last night and got a couple hits.
It keeps his shoulder turned down. That's what it does.
Boy, that is good work. Will Cordero, 2 for 2. Ball 1. The Bucks. Well, it looked as though they were completely out of it in that 3rd inning after the back-to-back homers by Piazza and Ventura.
Yeah, normally, we kind of have to, like, well, we're supposed to kind of snoop around and dig around and find this stuff out on our own. And you want me to tell you how I found out about this with Kevin? He said, Walkie, come here. You on the air tonight? I got something I want you to talk about. That's how I found out about it. Yeah.
Kirk Wendell starts warming in the bullpen for the New York Mets. And there's a drive to deep left field. Oh, Will Cordero clobbers this ball out of here. He just clubbed it into the upper deck, or at least the 4th level.
Close enough.
2-run homer for Will Cordero. And the Bucks are back to within a run. It's 6-5.
The zeros were put up, 3 of them after that 5 spot. The offense had time to regroup. 6-5 ball game. And Greg, how about that play in the 4th inning? Let's talk about that after we see the replay. Fastball, tried to get it in. Tried to get it in the kitchen. Cordero too quick. My kitchen, I don't want you in there. This ball lands almost the upper deck. It's going to kick. Oh, just miss it. There it is, right. Yep, it's going to be up there.
Rick Reed's reaction to that ball, it was just crushed, as you saw, by Will Cordero, his 4th home run. Cordero is on fire. And
you remember the Pat Mears triple. Rick Reed back over here by the 3rd base line, trying to figure out which way to go as that ball was being fielded down in the right field corner. He picked 3rd base. The throw got away, was going to bounce off the railing and go down the left field line. Mears would have scored easily, but Reed was standing there, backed it up, and that's why it's 6-5 instead of 6-6. Good fundamental baseball by Reed. Being in the right place at the right time has kept him the lead right now.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Two and 2 on Mears.
The pitchers are taught, man on first base, extra base hit. Don't take for a...
Here's another hit.
Don't take for granted that you're going to back up home.
Well, Rick Reed might not be long for this inning. Baseball Thursday, 2 of the game's top players squaring off. See him tonight. You can see him tomorrow. Mike Piazza leading the Mets. Jason Kendall and the Pirates. Tomorrow at 7 o'clock on Fox Sports Net. Baseball Thursday. Now, what does Rick Rennick, as you look at Will Cordero, Rick Rennick, the acting manager, what does he decide to do? Relaying the signs to 3rd base coach Jack Lind with Mike Benjamin and a pinch hitter, Chad Hermanson, on deck. In case you're just joining us, Gene Lamont was ejected before Warren Morris came to bat in the bottom of the 3rd, and now Dave Wallace, the Mets pitching coach, makes his way to the hill. And they are going to make the change. Rick Reed. We'll give the baseball to Dave Wallace, and we'll have a new pitcher coming on after this Sunoco pitching change. Coors Light, what's on tap for the Pirates this week? Again on Fox Sports Net tomorrow, and here at Three River Stadium, the finale of this series with the Mets, and then 3 games with the Milwaukee Brewers. Jeremy Burnitz and company. Friday night, Saturday night on Fox Sports Net, and Sunday afternoon on WB-TV 22. And Friday night again is Sports Jug Night to all the adults 15 and over. Fireworks on Saturday as Turk Wendell faces Mike Benjamin. Squaring to bunt. Taking ball 1.
Turk Wendell, another example of what we were talking about a few innings ago. Pitchers coming into their own, not with the original team. Wendell coming up with the Cubs, right?
Rick Reed done.
Did a lot of starting when he was with Chicago, but has really found his niche in the New York Met bullpen. Has done a great job.
Runner goes, and it's fouled out of play.
1-0. That's great hit and run count. 2-1. Good hit and run count. Get that pitcher thinking, okay, I can't. You don't want to go 2-0. You don't want to go 3-1. So you want to throw a strike. And obviously, that's when you want to put on those hit and runs, when the pitcher's going to come into the strike zone.
1 ball, 1 strike. Benjamin squares, gets down the bunt, and it's a foul ball. And kicked by Turk Wendell just to be sure it stays foul.
No, you're definitely supposed to grab it
touch at something as soon as it goes foul. You never know. It might hit a little something and come back in. Wendell doing it with some authority. Oh, Kirk Wendell. Yeah, of course, does everything with a little extra flair. Very flashy.
Unusual, some might say, Turk Wendell. Benjamin fouling this one out of play. The Pirates have fought their way back. They were down 6-1. Single run in the 4th, single run in the 5th, and a 2-run homer by Will Cordero here in the 6th. There is Rick Rennick, bench coach turned manager tonight. Gene Lamont was ejected, and this is rifled into the seats.
Look at the outfielders, Greg. When Benjamin is up, they really play him cheap. How far it is.
Gives
To
you a
the
good
right
idea.
field, Christian Bell, and they are all like that. That's just Bell in right field.
Derek Bell in right. Look at all that space behind him in right field.
It's just like that in center and left.
That's fouled out of play.
You know, and you might not be worried about a hitter like Benjamin driving the ball over your head. He can do that. He's got that kind of power, but maybe it's worth the gamble. But on artificial surface, the ball is so quick once it hits. You're also, by playing in shallow, giving up those balls that are going to roll through the gap.
This is popped up. Shallow left.
And Henderson has him played perfectly. That ball comes down almost exactly where he was standing when the pitch was thrown. Of course, the ball was hit so high. When they're hit like that,
Wouldn't have mattered where he
the
was
shortstop could run out there and get it. When they're hit straight up.
Chad Hermanson will pinch hit for Jeff Wallace.
Chad who?
Chad Hermanson.
Oh, we got a new player for a moment there.
Chad Hermanson hitting 195 with a homer and 7 runs batted in. Jose Silva will be the new Pirates pitcher. Boy, this is going to be important outing for Jose Silva. Strike call. No 0-1 on Hermanson. 6-5 the score. Turk Wendell, relief of Rick Reed, and that's fouled back. And a balk was called on Turk Wendell.
Had to be a no-stop ball, so that means, of course, the pitch doesn't count either, the foul ball. Cook. Just about everybody we're going to talk about tonight. Dennis Cook did not have a lot of success with his original club. See if there's a stop. Kind of a little bit of a hesitation at the belt, but not enough.
That's an important balk, especially if the Pirates could get a hit here. Moving Mears into scoring position. Rick Rennick, who spent 5 years managing in the White Sox chain at AAA Nashville. Nashville was then the AAA affiliate of the White Sox, now with the Pirates. Hermanson swings and misses, 0-2. Rick Reed, 5+ innings, allowing 10 hits. 0-2, and another foul ball by Hermanson.
The game did not really turn out the way we advertised it.
Yeah, we did. We said it would be quick for Richie and Reed. They were quick.
It's going to be a real, maybe good pitching duel tonight. Both these guys are on their games, but here we are, halfway point, 11 runs on the board, 16 hits. Bucks have the majority of the hits, 10 of them.
Hermanson, a strikeout victim. 2 outs. It brings up Adrian Brown.
And getting a slider away, he sinks this ball in on Chad. A lot of movement. Ball starts off in the middle of the plate, ends up kind of down and in. You know, when you see fastballs that have that kind of bite and tail and movement, you wonder why guys ever want to throw one straight.
Ball 1.
Piazza couldn't even catch that one. Had that hard downward movement on it.
Adrian Brown tripled in the 5th and scored. He slid to left and grounded out. 2 balls, no strikes. Turk Wendell. His first big league action, as Bob mentioned, with the Chicago Cubs, originally signed in the 5th round by the Atlanta Braves in 1988. Adrian Brown hits this one deep to center field. Mora, however, will get back there but can't make the catch. Adrian Brown in at second base. This game is tied.
Twice tonight now, Adrian Brown has burnt one of the shallow playing Met outfielders. Twice now. Mora playing very shallow in a panic to get back, thinking this ball is over his head, overruns it, tries to peel back toward the infield and can't get there. That ball hit the turf mound straight up in the glove. Look, he turns his back to the infield, knowing he's got to get back.
As you said, Bob, it was because he was so shallow, he thought that ball was crushed over his head, and his first reaction was to sprint dead central.
If he's playing back there in a normal spot, in the middle of that end zone area where we see all the center fielders play, he makes an easy catch of that ball.
Instead, it is 6-6. The Pirates have come back to tie it, and Turk Wendell hands over the baseball. How about this game? More to come after this Aflac pitching change timeout. A couple of unhappy pitchers right there. Turk Wendell just exited there on your left, and chewing the gum, the starter, Rick Reed, and that is the center fielder, Melvin Mora.
If you can see here, I don't know if it's going to show up good on the television, but you can see where the turf gets dark out there. That's the end zone. The ball's going to land right here about 8 yards deep in that end zone. Now, most center fielders, when they come in here, they play somewhere in between what would be the goal line, which is at the bottom of the picture, and the back line, which is right there. The ball bounced right there in the end zone.
But again, Melvin Mora was, as you said, Bob, in such a panic to sprint back.
He was playing on about what would be the 10-yard line. So when that ball went up, he's got to turn his back to the infield and run as fast as he can, and he overran it.
And as Bob said, if you can't see it on your TV screen when you're at the ballpark, and certainly from our vantage point, you can see.
Well, you can see the hash marks and everything when you're here at the game.
You basically see the football field.
Yeah.
Fouled off by Warren Morris.
But the Met outfielders, it has really been obvious these first 2 games.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there you go. Now, see where he is playing. Most of the center fielders, they play somewhere in between where he's at and back here to the in line. They play in between that. That ball landed right about here.
And he's playing back now with Warren Morris at the plate. He was up much further. And Adrian Brown hit that ball. 0-1 the count, and it's inside. The Pirates have tied it up.
It's almost kind of a live by the sword, die by the sword thing.
Rob some guys of hits,
but you can get burnt for the big hit, the extra base hit.
Morris just getting a piece of that. Count of 1 ball, 2 strikes on the Bucco second baseman with 2 outs. Kevin Young got it started. Will Cordero homered, had Mears a base hit, and Adrian Brown with 2 outs getting the double to tie this one up at 6. So Todd Ritchie is off the hook, and that's good to see that the offense picks him up, because he has done such a great job. That just missed.
Bruce Fromming might have flinched just a little bit on that one.
Dennis Cook gets Warren Morris. They'll have to complete the strikeout by throwing to first, and they do, but the Bucks tie this game up. And the bullpen will continue to try and do the good job that it's done to this point. 6-6. The score, top of the 7th inning. Chris Benson, who started last night and gave up 2 runs in 8 innings, lost the game. But our Geico Direct Moment quote from Pirates manager Gene Lamont about that outing: Chris had good stuff. If he pitches like that, he'll win most of the time. Benson, his last, I guess, 3 times out now, appears to be back in that spring training groove that we saw. Off to a shaky regular season start. Seems to be back. Edgardo Alfonso now against Jose Silva, who's been banged around the last couple outings. Important that this bullpen continues to do the fine job. So credit Jose Parra, 1 scoreless, and Jeff Wallace, 2 scoreless, to give that Pirate offense the chance to come back in this game. One ball, 1 strike. Silva in front of Alfonso, 1-2.
A lot of talent on this Pirate team. You could get everybody right, isn't there?
Oh yeah.
Jose Silva, if he could pitch like we know he's capable of, a huge plus that would be. Getting back to where he was before he got hit with that pitch in Philadelphia and broke his wrist.
Strikes out Alfonso. One out in the 7th. Brings up Mike Piazza. Kids Wallet Day comes up this Sunday when the Pirates host the Brewers, the final game of this homestand. 1:35 start. All the kids 14 and younger receive a Pirates Kids Wallet and bring the family to the Kids Fun Zone at Gate A. Compliments of Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield starting at 11 a.m. Here's a look at the Pirates Kids Wallet. They'll be given away to all youngsters 14 and younger. And also the kids can come out at 11 a.m. to meet the Rugrats costume characters presented by AT&T Cable Services. 321 bucks or 1-800-BUY-BUCKS for tickets. 1 and 2 on Piazza. If you believe in the momentum thing, you have to feel the Pirates have it. And to continue that, Silva has to do the job here in the 7th. Reaching out and a base hit to right. Piazza, 2 for 4. Robin Ventura, 1 for 3. The home run in the 3rd followed the Piazza dinger. Third inning, Ventura to the plate following the Piazza home run. of Todd Ritchie. Giles back and over the right field wall into the seats. Ventura's third home run this season against Pittsburgh. One ball, one strike. In the dirt, blocked by Kendall.
Blocked out with his mask. All bounced up, looked like it popped him in the nose.
No doubt you've heard the story about Ventura calling Kendall after his July 4th accident last year, because Ventura suffered a similar fate in spring training of '97, a home plate accident while with the White Sox. 3-1 on Robin Ventura. And that's ripped to right. Giles over quickly. Piazza headed to third, and he'll be there. First and third with one out.
Yeah, we could use that double play ball now. Ventura head straight down. Piazza has to be in a hurry, because Ventura hit that ball so hard. If it would have been at Giles, Giles would have had a real chance at holding him at second base. But too far down the line, and Brian was fielding that ball. All of his momentum was going toward the foul line.
So Piazza must be feeling pretty good this year. He's running about as well as we have seen him run. And he's not fast, but
They say the more you practice something, the better you get at it. Is he ever not on base?
well, even I'm just saying, even
I mean,
ground balls to
I know what you're
routine
saying.
ground
I
balls,
was
he's
saying-
making it close at first. He's running better than I can ever
You're right.
remember.
I'm-
Pete
I'm
Vukovich out to the mound.
I'm just being silly. I'm tired of seeing him run out there. I don't want to see him run anymore.
Well,
He
neither does.
just tears us up in this ballpark.
Yeah. So close to 400 here at Three Rivers Stadium.
Going back all through his Dodger days. A very, very talented individual. You know, and Greg, I always had the impression too, Mike Piazza, in that real pretty Dodger uniform. The Dodgers looked like pretty boys anyway, and then Mike would do the hair commercials and stuff. And, you know, didn't really have the impression that he was really a, you know, get down in the dirt type ball player. But he's had so many opportunities to leave behind home plate and get out there somewhere in the outfield, first base, where he could take it a little easy, and he doesn't want to leave. He likes being back there, catching the foul tips, blocking the plate, getting the contact. You know, with him wanting to stay behind the plate, I think that tells you a little bit something about his character. He's as hard-nosed as anybody else in this game.
3-0 on Todd Zeile.
When he was with the Dodgers, I really never got that impression. Or I guess maybe I was my anti-Dodger bias coming out.
Because I never felt that way
I
about
know.
him.
Well, you don't have the anti-Dodger bias.
3-0 pitch, and this is rifled to left field, and that is a fair ball. Of course, up against the wall, scoring a run, and going into second base with an RBI double, and giving the Mets back the lead is Todd Zeile. So again, a rough go for Jose Silva, who started out with the strikeout of Edgardo Alfonso.
That puts the Pirates in a little bit of a rough spot now. You're later in the ball game now. You fall behind now. There's not as much time to catch up. Infield is going to have to come in and play up tight because of that. Got to try and cut these runs off.
Squeeze on. He missed it, and the Bucks should get an out of it, and they will. Boy, oh boy, that could be a huge break for Pittsburgh.
Now Morris got to make some kind of contact here. This pitch is not that bad. Breaking ball outside off the plate, definitely a ball, but Mora has to get. There you see the runner breaking down from third, and now there's nothing that anybody can do. Just running back toward third base. One little toss, make the tag, and you get a big, big break. That could really help out the Pirates. Keep it a one-run game.
Caught stealing, not Ventura's fault, of course.
No, nothing. Ventura did exactly what he was supposed to do. He broke. He was caught out there in no man's land when Mora couldn't make contact.
Will intentionally walk Mora and base Ordonez.
It's not all that easy to do, to make contact with anything that the pitcher might throw. But that's what happened. Mora didn't get a strike. He got a ball. That pitch looked like maybe 6-7 inches outside. And you could see him kind of jab at it, trying to do anything, get a foul tip, anything to protect his runner. He knows Ventura's coming down the line.
Shortstop Ray Ordonez.
Ray Ordonez has grounded out 3 times. Now you get the break there of the missed suicide. You get an out. You intentionally walk Mora to get Ordonez. You have to get Ordonez. A 177 hitter.
Yeah, and that's why Valentine takes the chance. You use the squeeze bunt when you have the weaker part of your lineup up, or you think they could get out of it with a strikeout or a weak ground ball someplace. So when you have your weaker hitters up, that's when the managers really have a tendency to put that squeeze on. And somebody, too, that can handle the bat and you have confidence in and getting a bunt down.
And it's 1-1 now. They have not had anybody warming in their bullpen. Just now they're going to get somebody up, realizing that if Ordonez were to reach, the pitcher is up next, but it's 1-2 on the Mets shortstop. Just now kind of scrambling to get Pat Mahomes up.
A tad late for that.
Yep.
Of course, if Ordonez was to get a base hit, that they don't necessarily need the pinch hit in this circumstance. And probably let Cook hit for himself, because then they would have a 2-run lead.
Yeah, if there were a walk, it'd be a different story. 2-2. Silva giving up the RBI double to Zeal. Mets lead it again. And he does get Ordonez. Mets pick up a run as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning with the score, New York leading at 7-6. Let's take a look at what's coming your way tonight on the National Sports Report. Following our game, for that, we take you to the Fox Network Center. Take a look at our Ladbroke game summary. Mets hitting home runs, Piazza and Ventura in the 3rd. Pirate home runs, Kevin Young, Will Cordero. In fact, let's show you the home runs. Kevin Young off Rick Reed tied the game in the bottom of the 2nd inning at 1 apiece. It was Young's 5th of the year. Then Piazza crushes this one in the 3rd inning. Ventura fouls it up with one of his own. That gives New York a 6-1 lead until Will Cordero comes to the plate and nearly hits this one into the upper deck. His 4th home run of the year. And a Giant Eagle home run hitters contestant, Betty Fry of Petersburg, Pennsylvania. Pirates are down 7-6. Jason Kendall 1 for 3 tonight. Now facing left-hander Dennis Cook. Kendall, Giles, Young. I remember that series in mid-April against the Mets here at Three Rivers. As Kendall hits this one to center field and a base hit. Now, Melvin Moore is playing way too deep. I don't understand it.
Yeah, if he was in closer,
Yeah.
he could have caught that ball.
A leadoff single for Jason Kendall. See, if he'd been playing up like he had been.
Well, seriously now,
Yeah.
that's where most outfielders always play, right there, the front part of the end zone, probably 3-4 yards deep.
A little conversation
Yeah,
there with Rick Rennick and Bruce Fremming.
You're very up and down, depending, of course, who the hitter is, game situation. You're playing no doubles. Where's the tie-in run? A ton of things go in to where you play, not just who the hitter is.
I don't know what is happening here. Rick Rennick came out, said something to Bruce Fremming.
Fremming is looking down the first baseline now, hollering at somebody.
Toward the camera deck. Kent Biggerstaff had been there. I don't know if it had anything to do with the Pirates trainer. Well, maybe Kent Biggerstaff went over there where the rotating sign behind home plate. I think that it is. I think that the person that changes that sign actually sits over at the end of the dugout. So maybe they told him to quit changing it. I don't know. Speculation. Go to first.
Why,
Back easily.
why can't they change the sign?
Ask Bruce Fremming.
Oh, you know what? Maybe the sign changed as Cook was throwing the
Oh.
pitch. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a serious distraction to
Yeah.
the pitcher. He's just wind up and sees that sign flipping in the
Yeah.
background.
Go to first. Look out. That was much closer. A better move by Cook. Jason Kendall has stolen a base tonight. Bobby Valentine, told you before, employs the same type of defense with his first baseman that Jim Leland did a few years ago with Pittsburgh. The first baseman plays off the bag in front of the runner. And this hits Giles, and the Bucks have 2 aboard with nobody out.
That did not feel good.
He barely felt it.
No, that got him right between the shoulder blades. The animal felt that one. Right in between the 2 and the 4. The little double hop. Brian's going to have to go listen to his... no, I got right on the 4. My
He's all
mistake.
right.
And that
I
couldn't,
told
that couldn't
you.
have hurt.
Kevin Young, 2 for 3. And now we're going to have a double switch.
Brian's going to have to go and listen to his singing fish after the game. Sing, don't worry, be happy.
Pirates will if they can come back. More changes for the Mets. We'll be back after this Sunoco pitching change timeout. 7-6, the Mets lead it. A couple of changes for New York. As Dennis Cook leaves, Jay Payton sprinting out in center field, and he will bat in the pitcher spot, which will be due up first next inning. Pat Mahomes hits in Melvin Mora's spot of the batting order. That is 7.
Come on, Kevin Young. Keep that elbow down.
Facing Pat Mahomes. Bucks have runners at first and second with no one out. Kevin Young has hit the ball hard 3 times tonight. He was 2 for 4. Should have had 3 hits last night. Quick word from first baseman Todd Zeile to Mahomes. Kendall at second. Giles at first. With the Bucks down a run in the bottom of the 7th inning. Line foul. Boy, he is on everything. It is amazing. You're just joining us. Kevin Young told Bob Walk before last night's game that he had discovered something while watching videotapes at his home in Phoenix on Monday, the off day. Basically to keep that left elbow in. It's like magic. 1-1.
going to go hunt wallets, videotape myself, and watch the tape, see what I did wrong.
2 and 1.
Magic of videotape.
Base runners. Kendall at second. Giles at first. Pat Mahomes, the fourth pitcher for New York.
You know, Greg, I'm sure that there really is it helps him physically to keep that shoulder down and the arm down, but how much of it do you think is mental?
Yeah,
when he really believes I have discovered what is wrong. That has to play a part in it too.
Well, as a pitcher, you can attest to that, can't you? That
no,
you can't.
No,
nothing mental about it.
No, nothing mental there.
Oh, well, take it case by case. 2-2 the count on Kevin Young.
Doing anything out on that field, half of it's believing you can do it. Whether it's pitching or running the bases, shagging flies during batting practice.
Pat Mahomes, count of 2-2 on Kevin Young. That's what he's done in his career against this right-hander. Bouncing ball headed up the middle, a base hit. Kendall will come around. Here's the throw to the plate. Kendall scores. Tie game. Keep that elbow in. Young is 3 for 4, and the game is tied at 7.
It works so well, even when you get fooled and don't hit the ball well, it finds a hole. You're going good. You're going good. 7-7 ball game. Elbow down. Not a great job of hitting. The backside was kind of out of this swing. Just barely got the ball on the end of the bat. Tapped it up the middle, but it's in a perfect spot. And you slide one by this shortstop, you are going good.
Now the Pirates with runners at first and second, and Piazza out to talk with Mahomes. Will Cordero to the plate.
Ordonez has such great range, and you almost used to him making plays like when that ball was hit. You know,
Certainly not automatic.
He's going to get that. Yeah. He makes so many tremendous plays. At least once a game, he's throwing somebody out from his back.
Will Cordero 3 for 3. Takes a strike.
Cordero is just the opposite as far as his arm. Watch his left elbow. He's got it way up in the air as he tries to get the bat almost wrapped behind his head. Right there. Look how high he holds his elbow, as opposed to where Kevin had.
Will Cordero, his last time up, hit a ball to almost the upper deck. The 4th level here at Three Rivers. He has an 8-game hitting streak, 3 for 3 tonight. 2 on, still no one out. And 2 balls and 1 strike.
There's a gentleman standing in the exact spot where he hit his home run right now. I guess he thinks lightning can strike twice. He's up there all by himself waiting for another one. Right where the other one landed. Look at that. Do it again.
Line drive, base hit into center field. Hit so hard, everybody will hold. Will Cordero 4 for 4 tonight.
Giles could not take off when that ball was hit because Ordonez is playing right behind him. He doesn't know that Ordonez can't catch this ball. So he had to freeze, look over his shoulder to see if Ordonez was going to be able to make the play, then start running. And as you said, balls blistered hard. Everybody just goes 90 feet. He'll look right over his left shoulder to see if Ordonez is there, going to make the catch. Watch Giles. There it is. He's going to freeze. Watch his head swivel around. He's looking for Ordonez. Now he knows its coast is clear and he can run.
Base is loaded with buckos, and Pat Mears is at the plate. 2 for 3 tonight.
Nobody out, you play it 90 feet at a time unless there is no doubt you can score. One hopper, right the bell. Jack Lynn puts the stop sign up. We'll take the 1 run. Got to have a big, big inning here. We've put 2 up so far.
Yeah.
I'd like to see 4 or 5 spot up this inning. 15 hits now for the Pirates. 7th inning's not over yet. Things are getting a little ragged in the Met bullpen.
John Vanderwall is going to pinch hit for Benjamin.
Left-hander Rodriguez is going to get up and start tossing for the Metropolitans.
And a strike is called on John Vanderwall. A .326 average in his first campaign with Pittsburgh. That's what he's doing as a pinch hitter. 4 for 10 with a pair of homers. Oh, he chased that one upstairs. 0-2. The base runners for Pittsburgh: Kevin Young at third. Will Cordero is at second base. And Pat Neer's the RBI single at first. Pirates with the lead. 0-2 on the pinch hitter Vanderwall. He bats for Mike Benjamin. That didn't miss by a whole lot. It's taken for a ball. 1-2.
Yeah, Piazza tried to get that pitch from Mahomes. You see his glove right at contact kind of snatch up about 2-3 inches. Trying to influence Fromming a little bit, making it look like that ball was higher than it actually was.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Going the other way. Shallow left. Coming on is Henderson. Will he get there? No! It's a fair ball! 1 run in! 2 runs in! 3 runs in! And no, it's going to go into the bullpen for a ground rule double, but the Bucks will take it. I'll tell you what, if it didn't, it's at least 3 for Vanderwall. But it's another pinch hit and a 2-base hit at that, as the Bucks take a 10-7 lead. There's that outfield play again.
Henderson got a little too close to the baseball. He thought he was going to be able to make the catch. Got too close to it. Artificial surface is going to bounce over your head. Too bad for the Pirates, it bounces over the fence. This ball doesn't hit Henderson, does it? Now, if that ball hits Henderson and then goes over the fence, is it still a ground rule double? That ball might have ticked off his glove. What's the ruling on that, Greg?
Well, now you've done it there, Ollie.
This ball comes down. Does it tick off Henderson's glove right there? And if it does hit his glove and then go over the fence, is it a ground rule double? Question for the future. We'll have to do a little research on that one.
I think it is. Obviously it is. Infield will creep in now. Luis Sojo pinch hits and fouls this out of play. Sojo pinch hits here in the 7th. He bats for Silva. Silva gives up 1 run on 3 hits, 1 intentional walk, and a strikeout. Pirates lead at 10-7, infield in for New York. Bob, you wanted, what, 4 or 5 runs?
I want 6 now. 6.
Mr. Greedy.
That's right.
Sojo takes. John Vanderwall, a 2-run pinch hit double. He is incredible.
I'm looking for a line drive to right center right here.
John Vanderwall, everything as advertised. Sojo, base hit into center. Vanderwall will be waved. Nope, he's going to stop at third.
Now that's nobody out. Nobody out.
11-7.
Don't get anybody thrown out at the plate with nobody out.
And now Dave Wallace.
Yeah, they're going to spin Adrian around, make him hit from the right side.
So
17 hits now for the Pirates.
Pinch hitters coming through.
As they have done the entire year so far. What a bench that the Pirates have put together this season. a big weak spot last year. This year, it was not the best in baseball. I want to see somebody with better numbers. Rodriguez jogging in. Valentine wanting Adrian Brown to hit from the right side. Adrian's numbers this year, anyway, are not as good from the right side.
And we'll take another Sunoco pitching change. Timeout. (11-7), the Pirates lead the Mets, and having an inning at the bottom of the 7th. And now face Rich Rodriguez. He's the 3rd pitcher this inning alone. Facing Adrian Brown, and the Bucks with runners at 1st and 3rd, and still nobody out. Adrian Brown 2 for 4. Takes a ball. Well, they've totally blued out, not blacked out. They blued out the signs behind home plate.
Why they did that?
I don't know. Nobody out. 1-0 the count on Adrian Brown, and he takes a strike from Rich Rodriguez.
Ordonez and Alfonso, they keep talking back and forth out there about what they're going to do with the ground ball, whether they try to get 2 or not.
In the dirt. Runners hold.
It's an 11-7 ball game. They almost have to check the runner first. You can't give up another run here to try for a double play. But if you take the time to check the runner at 3rd base, it'll be awful hard to double up Adrian Brown. That's going to give him another couple of steps while you're looking at 3rd.
And Adrian Brown to right field. Catch made again by Derek Bell. And the runner does not score.
Didn't tag up. Vanderwall's got to be tagging up on that. Ball hit to the outfield in the air. Bell goes to the ground to make the catch. He probably gets home pretty easy. Right now, Vanderwall is about 10 yards down the line. Bell dives, makes a diving catch, rolling around, holding the ball up. Now they can go for a double play and prevent this run. Vanderwall, he sees the hit. Now he's coming down the line. While he's coming down the line, he needed to be going back to tag up.
Warren Morris swings and misses.
And in his defense, though, if he goes back to tag up and that ball short hops out there, Bell does have an outside shot of maybe throwing him out at the plate.
Remember a couple years ago, Al Martin.
Yeah, that's probably what was in Vanderwall's mind there. It was, you know, if this ball short hops and he comes in and makes a play, it's going to be tough for me to get in.
A couple years ago, Al Martin was thrown out at the plate on a very similar play.
Similar play.
Was criticized for that play. 0-2 with 1 out.
Kind of a hindsight play. If you know that the guy's going to dive and make a catch, obviously you should be tagging up.
It's like Kevin Young not going home from 3rd on that wild pitch last night.
It looks like now we might not get another run.
We'll see if Kendall can make it a moot point. The Mets looking for somebody out of the bullpen to settle things down, and so far Rich Rodriguez has done that. The line drive caught by Derek Bell, and a strikeout of Warren Morris. Ball 1. The Mets bullpen was one of the strong points of the club that won 97 games last year. This season, relievers' ERA before tonight was over 5. 1-0. Ball 2. Jason Kendall started this inning off with a base hit to center field off Dennis Cook. He scored the tying run. And the Bucks have added 4 more since. Two and one. John Vanderwall, the pinch hit, 2-run double. Luis Sojo, pinch hit, RBI single. Couldn't hold his swing. He'll appeal it, and yes, he did. Not much question there. 2 and 2. Rick Reed started, went 5+, gave up 6 runs. 2 more runs charged to Dennis Cook. Pat Mahomes has allowed 3 so far. Kendall nearly hit. It's a full count. Two, bounce left side. Ventura, a little trouble getting it out, and a one-hopper and dug out of there by Todd Zeal. Hopefully that will not come back to haunt the Bucks. They take a 5-run inning to the 8th and now lead it 11-7. You're watching Pirates baseball on Fox Sports Net. It's been a wild one here at Three River Stadium. You need to keep going back to those concessions and get more dogs. And watch this one. 11-7 Pittsburgh. Luis Sojo at the pinch hit. RBI stays in the game to play third. And now the new pitcher, Mike Garcia. He will bat in what had been Benjamin's spot of the order, 8th. Right-hander Mike Garcia, you see the numbers. He pitched 2/3 of an inning on Sunday at Wrigley Field, gave up a run, and after he got the first 2 outs. Jay Payton bats for the first time tonight.
You got a little bit of a cushion now to work with. 4 runs. Be aggressive in the strike zone with that slider right off the bat. He chooses to throw breaking balls. The thing that stay away from now coming into relief and ball game that you've just taken this lead after fighting back all game. No free passes. Make the Mets hit their way on. If they're going to come back in this game, they got to do it with the bats. No help.
Left side, Sojo gets a speedy Payton. 1 out in the 8th. Batter Ricky Henderson. Before they were world champions, they were Golden Gloves. Muhammad Ali, Evander Holyfield, Sugar Ray Leonard, Oscar De La Hoya. The Golden Gloves Tournament of Champions. It all begins here Sunday at 8 on Fox Sports Net.
Kind of proves that old saying, you got to be able to hit first before you can win a Gold Glove.
Here is Ricky Henderson. On base 4 times tonight.
You see it all the time throughout the years in baseball. Somebody is real slick with a glove. Kind of goes unnoticed. They have a big year with the bat, good offense. And everyone starts saying, hey, this guy can really pick it out there. They win the Gold Glove.
1 and 2 on Henderson.
And happened to Jay Bell here in
Yeah.
Pittsburgh. Outstanding defensive shortstop for a number of years, but didn't really do a whole lot with the bat early on. And his first year where he really came through and started hitting the ball hard, all of a sudden now he's a Gold Glover.
Fouled out of play. One and two on Henderson, one out, 8th inning.
Thought about it. Held up.
Derek Bell on deck. 4-run lead for Pittsburgh. 3 and 2. Pirates have used Todd Ritchie, Jose Parra, Jeff Wallace, Jose Silva, now Mike Garcia.
Mike needs to think right in the middle of the plate, right down the middle with this pitch. Don't mess around trying to hit a corner with Henderson. Just right down the chute.
And rolled to first, where Kevin Young gobbles it up. 2 outs.
I'd rather seen Henderson hit his double off the wall right there than to walk.
So Henderson retired for the first time tonight. They'll bring up Derek Bell.
What's he doing with a bat?
Well, I think they're out of pinch hitters.
You're right. Luke might have to hit.
Derek Bell.
I can't get on Vogt's hitting. He knocked me out of a ball game one time with a line drive off my shin. He smoked it. That's the only ball he ever hit hard. That one in the movie Major League. Bombed a couple in that.
That's fouled out of play.
In that movie. Remember Vogt in that movie?
Oh, yeah.
Howard hitting first baseman. For the Yankees, right? I think it was the Yankees.
One ball, one strike on Derek Bell. Checks his swing. Kendall wanted an appeal, didn't get it from Bruce Fremming. 2-1. Tomorrow night, Jimmy Anderson for Pittsburgh against Al Leiter of the Mets. Two and 2. By the way, Francisco Cordova had X-rays taken. Orthopedic specialist Dr. Jack Fela checked him out, said he's fine, thinks he will be able to pitch on Saturday. Cordova will throw on the side tomorrow. There's Jimmy Anderson on your left and Jason Schmidt on your right. Schmidt will pitch Friday night. 2-2. Bounce left side and past Luis Sojo. Into the corner. Derek Bell has a 2-out double. Bell's first hit of the game, 8th double of the season, 10 hits now for New York.
Jason Christensen throwing in the bullpen. Ventura comes to the plate. We will see Jace Sojo trying to stop the ball. Pretty good jump on that. He had 3 pretty good strides before the dive. He was playing well off the line, trying to cover as much of that shortstop third base hole as he could.
Alfonso takes the strike. Bobby Valentine saw his Mets shut out the Pirates last night. Mike Hampton and Armando Benitez limiting the Pirates offense to just 6 hits. Tonight the Bucks have collected 17 against 5 different New York pitchers. One ball, one strike on Alfonso. 2-1. This game is not over. John Franco in the Mets bullpen. Runner goes to third. It's fouled out of play.
The middle infielders aren't paying any attention to Bell at all. There's 2 outs. have a 4-run lead. They're staying back at their positions, trying to cover as much ground as possible. The guy they don't want to get on base is at the plate. They could care less right now whether Bell's standing at second base or standing at third. Makes no difference.
That is Rick Rennick. He's managing the team. Gene Lamont ejected. That ejection came in the top of the third. Rick Rennick, the Pirates bench coach.
Hey, Rick did a nice job with the pinch hitters tonight.
Yeah.
Got Vanderwall up there to the plate. A really key juncture at the ball game. No lefties thrown in the Met bullpen.
Bounced right side and through. A base hit. Runner will be held as Giles gets the ball in quickly. First and third.
See, that's why you don't worry about that runner at second base in that situation. He means nothing. You try to take away base hits like that one. Get back as far as you could. That one was too much in the hole, but that's what you're guarding against, not to steal a third.
A call to the bullpen for Rick Rennick. Mike Williams, the right-hander. Jason Christensen, the left-hander. Spin Williams answered that phone on the other end.
Well, Williams has not been throwing that long. Christensen was up when the inning started. He will be ready for Ventura.
Well, here's a big at-bat now for the Pirates and for the Mets. Piazza lashes this one foul. Piazza 2 for 4. Two.
You can get Piazza to swing at that breaking ball in that spot. You can get him out there, but if you bring it over the outside part of the plate, Piazza has really shown us that he can handle the ball away from him pretty well.
Count is 1-2. Derek Bell at third base. Alfonso at first. And of course, Piazza with one swing can make it a one-run game. He can also, with one swing, end this threat in the 8th. Whoops, way back there, and that may score a run. It will. Kendall could not find the handle as Derek Bell went flying to the plate. The wild pitch brings home the 8th run.
I don't know what to say about that. Garcia's trying to throw a fastball in off the plate. All these breaking balls to Piazza. If he could put this fastball in on his hands, he's probably got him. Look where Kendall is. That's where he wants to pitch. And look where it went. It's missing your spot by quite a bit.
2-2. 11-8 the score. Tell you, if Kendall finds that ball quickly, there's a play at the plate.
Yes, there is.
He can't because he's trying to do it quickly and throw all in one motion. This is ripped, lined, and speared by Soho. Luis Soho. Johnny on the spot as that ball was rifled by Piazza. Oh boy, go to the bottom of the 8th. It's 11-8 Pittsburgh. Now the Pirate Parrot decked out in 1979 garb, and Luis Soho making that catch, and the line shot hit by Mike Piazza. John Franco, the new pitcher.
John, a long-time premier closer in the league, in all of baseball for that matter. He has given up that spot to Benitez, but he is still very effective.
John Franco will see Brian Giles, Kevin Young, and Will Cordero. There is Armando Benitez, who has had some shaky outings. There had been talk when the Mets came in here that perhaps Franco was trying to position himself to reacquire that stopper's role. Picked up a save, in fact, the earlier portion of this road trip did John Franco. The Mets are on a 13-gamer. They were in Colorado, San Francisco, Florida, and finishing up here in Pittsburgh. So John Franco facing the left-hand hitting Brian Giles, as the Bucks lead 11-8.
Well, what's kind of nice about their situation, one closer kind of in the twilight and another guy coming in, they throw from different sides of the plate, so you can mix and match them a little bit like that. Use Franco and want to get lefties out. Of course, Franco over the years has been outstanding on right-handers. That little change-up screwball that he's got. It hasn't made much difference. You go up there right-hander, left-hander. Franco's got something for you. Good control, fearless, doesn't care what the count is, can throw any pitch at any time. .417 saves. Wow.
Ground ball, diving stop, Alfonso, but he won't get Giles. Infield hit for Brian Giles. Infield hit for Brian Giles.
I like to watch the facial expressions of the runners. When you can tell the moment they know that I got to go to the top gear here, just with the looks on their face.
Ball one, Kevin Young. Quite a night.
Yeah, it's a great feeling walking off the mound at the end of the game. You know, when you're out there, when your team wins. 417 saves. 417 times he's been able to do that.
Kevin Young goes the other way. It is slicing foul. Mike Williams. One ball and one strike on Kevin Young. Franco, the 417 saves, second all-time to Lee Smith, who had 478.
I think Lee had some tough ball games in this ballpark. Doesn't matter who he was pitching with, he came in here.
Pirates could handle him.
He was laying it up, getting beat. Even in the All-Star, he was in the All-Star game. Remember, he blew the save.
Yeah.
Fred McGriff, dead center field, prime docking. Tied the game up, sent it to extra innings. Moises Alou knocked in that speedster Tony Gwynn with the winning run.
Didn't Gwynn steal 5 bases
In that game? Yeah.
In that game alone?
I think so.
2-2 pitch. Just wanted to see if you're listening in there. 2-2 the count with Giles at first.
The truck seems awfully silent.
Yeah.
Right now, huh?
We have silenced the truck. They have not silenced Kevin Young. He was 2 for 4 last night, 3 hits tonight. Starting to see Young and Cordero's bat come alive. Cordero has really taken off. First runner is back. By the way, that question about the pinch hit double by John Vanderwall last inning, and Bob had a good one regarding Ricky Henderson. Kind of, I don't know if he deflected it, but he certainly.
Well, let's say somebody.
hit the ball.
Let's say if somebody, an outfielder, does touch a ball like that, and then it goes in the stands.
It's the batter and the runner shall be entitled to advance 2 bases. That's the same thing. And a base hit again for Kevin Young. You've got to be kidding. That is amazing.
Hey, I told you about it.
Sure you did. You told us last night. Yeah,
You know, what's amazing really about this is even when he's not hitting the ball hard, he's all of a sudden now finding all these holes.
Yeah.
He had one ground ball get up the middle, and now this ball here, it sounds like a broken bat. I think that ball got in on him a little bit. Just muscled it over Ordonez's head.
Kevin Young, August 4th of '98, the last time he had 4 hits in a game. Will Cordero has 4 hits.
Seems like just yesterday. What's wrong with Young and Cordero?
Yeah. Average up to 265.
Now all of a sudden they're carrying the club.
Jeez.
Both these guys could be hitting in the 270s by the end of the night.
Cordero has had a 5-hit career game in the past. He's also had 5 4-hit games previously, so he's matched that. Guys in the truck doing some research, letting us know that. We'll take them at their word. 1 ball and 1 strike on Cordero.
Cordero was in that All-Star game that we were referring to earlier.
Franco taking a lot of time. Out of 1-1. 2 on. The Pirates leading 11-8 in the bottom of the 8th. This would be a sweet comeback for Pittsburgh. Now 2 balls and 1 strike. Last time the Mets were in town in mid-April, Bucks lost 2 out of 3 to New York. And on Friday the 14th, they trailed 4-2 in the 8th. The Bucks picked up a run in the 8th inning, the tying run in the bottom of the 9th, only to lose it in 12. That scored 4 runs in the top of the 12th to win that game. Cordero with a fly ball hit deep to left. Henderson back. It's over his head. 5 hits for Cordero. Up against the wall. 2 more runs score. And the Pirates have put a 13th spot on the board. Will Cordero. A 5-hit night.
How many RBIs is that tonight for Cordero?
4.
Gets him up to 16 on the year.
They kept telling us he can hit. We're always impatient. What about Cordero? What are you going to do? They kept saying, just watch, he'll hit.
He's always hit. Everywhere he's been, he's hit. Why would it be any difference here? You saw him start to make a little bit of progress as we got out on that road. By the time we were in Chicago, he was smoking the ball, and now look here. 5 hits in 1 night, 4 RBIs.
Ties again his career high. Will Cordero last had 5 hits in New York against the Yankees, May of '97.
Winning base hit.
Oh, oh boy. What a night. As predicted on our pregame, it's going to be a high-scoring affair. Buckle down. It'll be a long evening. 2-1 the count on Pat Mears. The hitting coach always likes this kind of night. Yeah. 3-1.
He wasn't looking at me.
What is that?
Oh, that noise? I'll tell you what it is.
Somebody's yelling Piazza.
Watch it. Oh.
What do you want to watch Pulsifer in the bullpen for?
Watch these little kids right here. They're the ones, they're yelling right into our crowd, Mike.
Sounds like they're yelling Piazza.
It might be. Did you watch him?
This is fouled out of play. The Pirates lead 13-8 tonight.
I think
They're yelling Piazza, aren't they?
I'm not sure what. There's the mic right there. That's our crowd mic.
Yeah, they are. See that guy on the right? He said Piazza. This guy here, Piazza.
Hey, don't be drawn
Yeah,
on
I wanted
my,
to.
You're supposed to ask permission first.
Nah.
If you want to draw on my screen over here.
I'll draw on the screen.
So you think they're yelling Piazza?
Let's listen.
Watch them. It's working. Whatever they're yelling.
Yeah, keep it up. The Bucco fans have rattled the Mets pitchers here tonight. That probably would bother you after a while, every pitch.
Pitcher, Mike Garcia.
Mike Garcia will bat. Pirates owning now this 5-run lead.
He's looking for Piazza's card right there. That's what he's looking for.
Put the whammy on him. Cordero at second. And Mears at first, and still no one out. And we were reading a story over the weekend in Chicago about baseball etiquette. And in situations like this where the lead seems out of hand, some teams get upset when, in this case, you have a pitcher trying to bunt the runners over. You're leading 13-8. But as somebody said, one of the managers said, when being asked that question, well, if you let him swing away and he gets a hit, what happens then?
I don't know if I agree with that. But the point is, you're trying to move 2 more runners in scoring position. Some teams in the old days feel like you're trying to run up the score.
That's the point of this story.
But nowadays, how many runs is enough?
Well, that's the question.
You know, I don't know if you can get mad at somebody trying to add on a couple of runs late anymore, because the scoring has just gotten ridiculous with all the home runs.
Well,
Now, this right here, sacrifice bunting. When the other team's got 3 more outs with a 5-run lead 20 years ago, this would have definitely raised some eyebrows.
Well,
but not anymore, I don't
I bet
believe.
you there's some managers that feel that way even today.
Oh, sure there is.
This is fouled off, and it's a strikeout.
Old crotchety guys that aren't up with the new times.
Strikeout as Garcia tried to bunt. And now Luis Sojo. There they are, a split screen. Luis Sojo singled in a run as a pinch hitter in the 7th. Ball 1.
I think they've changed their yelling from Piazza to whoa or something like that. Pretty soon they're going to drop the A, better swing.
Strike.
3 home runs, Chicago for Luis Sojo, 1 each day.
His career high in any one year of his Major League career, 7. Fouled out of play. It's 1-2 on Sojo. "13 runs, 20 hits for Pittsburgh, 8 runs, 11 hits for the Mets. And the Bucks might not be through just yet." That's hit hard. Oh, a great stop by Ordonez. They're going to turn it into a double play. Sojo hit that ball on the money, and Ordonez turned it into a double play. Mike Williams is coming on. The Pirates lead at 13-8. From Pittsburgh and Three River Stadium, Mike Williams will look to end it here. The Pirates will have a very convincing comeback. Good to see. The Pirates have had a number of comebacks, and the offense really comes storming back after trailing 6-1 after 3 innings.
Really, the key innings for the Pirates, to me, not necessarily were the last 3 when they scored those 10 runs, but the 4th, 5th, and 6th when they put up 3 straight zeros and gave the offense time. Down 6-1. Very important that the bleeding stopped right there, at least for a while. Let the offense see what they could do. Jeff Wallace, a couple of nice innings tonight.
Pirates hold on to this. Jose Silva would get the win, but yeah, good work, Wallace, 2 scoreless. So it's been Todd Ritchie, Jose Parra, Jeff Wallace, Jose Silva, Mike Garcia, now Mike Williams. Hit hard but foul by Robin Ventura. He homered in the 3rd inning, giving New York a 6-1 lead. Rick Rennick took over this club after Gene Lamont was ejected in the top of the 3rd inning, or the bottom of the 3rd inning.
And has done a fantastic job, I might add.
He has. Outstanding. As we said, Rick Rennick, who spent a number of years in the White Sox chain, the manager at AAA Nashville, when they were then affiliated with the White Sox. So previous big league coaching stints, Montreal, Minnesota. Another foul ball.
Notice their little friends behind home plate are gone.
They've done their work.
Yep.
Ventura reaches.
You can tell Kevin to move down a couple of seats and start yelling swing.
Coming up immediately after the game, it's the all-new National Sports Report, the nightly show that gives you a complete wrap-up of all the day's sports news. We'll have all kinds of baseball highlights, NBA playoff action, and more news on Bobby Knight. Is he in trouble again? Mike Williams walks Ventura. Now it's Todd Zeile.
Score holds up here in the 9th inning. Disappointing loss for the Mets. 6-1 lead. Reed out on the mound. Looked like he had his stuff going early on. Cruising along.
Last time the Pirates collected 20 or more hits, by the way, as Williams strikes out Todd Zeal for out number 1. That was August 4th of 1998. The Pirates had 21 hits against the Colorado Rockies. And part of the big offense tonight, Advance Auto Parts players of the game, Kevin Young and Will Cordero, combining for 9 hits, 7 runs, and 6 RBIs. Matt Franco will pinch hit for John Franco. No relation. Strike is called. So Kevin Young 4 for 5, scored 4 runs, drove in a pair. Will Cordero 5 for 5, 3 runs scored, drove in 4. Pat Mears 3 out of 4 with 2 ribbies. John Vanderwall a pinch hit 2-run double. Luis Sojo 1 for 2 with an RBI. Brian Giles 1 for 4, 2 runs scored. Jason Kendall 2 for 5 with a run scored. Though Warren Morris did not have a hit in 5 at-bats, he got an RBI. And Adrian Brown, 2 for 5, a run scored, and a ribby. 13-8 Pittsburgh, out hitting the Mets 20-11. A base hit for Matt Franco, putting 2 men on. And another pinch hitter, John Nunnally.
Never easy, is it?
Nope. Wouldn't want it to be. Nunnally pinch hits for Ordonez. By the way, the last time the Mets gave up 20 hits was September of 1992. When Bob walked and the Pirates collected 20 hits here at Three River Stadium against the Mets.
How do you know that?
Looked it up. Ball 1.
Did I get any?
Now,
That can't be. That's not
seriously, do you
not
think
the
you
truck,
had
is it?
any?
Yeah, you're right. That was a stupid question. I got a hit one time. I remember it.
One ball and 1 strike. Nunnally a .204 batting average. A win for the Pirates would put them just 4 out. The Cardinals lost. The Reds won. The Pirates would remain 2 games back of Cincinnati. A win would also get the Bucks back to within 2 games of 500 and set up the rubber match tomorrow with Jimmy Anderson going up against Al Leiter. Jimmy Anderson. 2-1 on Nunnally. 3 balls and a strike. Strike. 3-2. This is not a save situation for Mike Williams.
It looked like Nunnally taking all the way on that 3-1 pitch and trying to get some base runners, get the pitcher to throw a lot of pitches, make him go deep in the count.
(3-2). Ground ball off the glove of the pitcher, and everybody is safe. An infield hit to load the bases with 1 out.
If Mike would have left that ball go, I think Mears would have been there to make the play. Got a good jump on it. Mike doesn't know this. He's got to try and catch everything he can, and went with that backhand and just barely ticked off his glove. Vukovic out to do a little talking here to Willie. Just break the momentum here a little bit.
Williams now facing Jay Payton. He came on to play center field in the 7th, grounded out in the 8th.
The key for Mike right now is to jump out ahead of somebody so he can get him to swing at that slider out of the strike zone. You know, behind in the count, they become very patient. It's what they're supposed to do behind by this many runs. And normally you see when Willie is out there a lot of swings at bad breaking balls down. You're not seeing them.
Fly ball to center. This will be the 2nd out. Runner at 3rd will tag and probably score without a throw. Runner from 2nd will head to 3rd. Sacrifice fly for Payton. And it's 13-9, 2 outs. It's Rickey Henderson to the plate.
Rickey is normally very disciplined. You probably won't see him chase after any pitches unless he gets behind in the count. He'll have to come in the strike zone to him.
Rennick motioning to Kevin Young.
He wants Kevin to play behind the runner. Back up, give himself as much range as he can. The important out is standing at the plate. It's only run number 11 leading off first. Doesn't matter what he does. Get the hitter out and head to the clubhouse.
Goes uncontested into 2nd. No stolen base. Fielder's choice. Catcher's indifference. Rick Rennick. Won't get an appeal on that one. It's 2-1 on Rickey Henderson. On base 4 times tonight. Has scored a couple of runs. He's walked twice. Hit towards center field. This should do it. Adrian Brown is there, and the Pirates have a comeback win over the Mets.
This one was a sweetheart. Coming back 6-1 deficit. What a great ball game for the Bucks. That offense is really a tough month of April. But tonight, you look up there, 13 runs, 20 hits off a good pitching staff. That's doing something tonight. They're all the way back. Big games from the guys that you really need this year who got off to a slow start. Kevin Young, Will Cordero. They could not have done more. What a game for those two.
And to the Pirates bullpen. A big contribution from them to the bench and to Rick Rennick. So everybody kind of came off the bench and contributed here in this 13-9 victory. Coming up tomorrow on Baseball Thursday, the Pirates conclude their series against the New York Mets at 7 o'clock. It'll be the rubber match of the series. Coming up next, National Sports Report. As the Buccos defeat the New York Mets here tonight. And we look for you at the ballpark tomorrow on the final 3 games of this homestand against the Milwaukee Brewers. For Bob Walk, I'm Greg Brown. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. The National Sports Report is next. Buccos beat the Mets.